Two teams out then, the black and white stripes of Newcastle United, the blue and white traditional colours of Everton, as the teams doing the traditional pre-match handshakes. It is Dubravka in goal for Newcastle, Kraft, Shah, Byrne and Hall at the back, Longstaff, Guimaraes and Anderson across the middle, Murphy, Isak and Barnes start up top. We mentioned that inexperienced bench, two goalkeepers on it as well, Karius and Gillespie the keepers, Paul Dummett, just one sub appearance for him, Matt Ritchie's not started a game this season, Joe Willock has, but only 7 appearances in all in the Premier League, and then Joe White, Amadou Diallo, Alex Murphy and Ben Parkinson have got the grand total of 5 substitute appearances between them in the league this season. For Everton, Pickford is the goalkeeper, Godfrey, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko at the back, Onana and Gay holding, with Young, Doucouré and McNeil behind. Beto starts up top. Virginia is the substitute goalkeeper for Everton. Patterson, Keane, Calvert-Lewin, Harrison, Gomez, Coleman, Chamiti and Garner. And you'll hear the boos there for Jordan Pickford, all in green, who's making his way over. He waves up high into the crowd to the travelling fans who've made the trip here tonight. But it's a journey they've probably made more in hope than expectation. No Premier League win in 12 for Sean Dyche's side. Now will be a good time to put that right. What's your gut feeling, Mickey? What's the outcome going to be tonight?
Well, I just think the lack of confidence that Everton have got at the moment is going to make this a difficult evening for them, and they have to try and stay in the game for as long as they possibly can and maybe get that little stroke of luck that I think Sean Dyche has been hoping for since the turn of the year. And if they do get that, then they've just got to fight for their lives and try and hope that they can get to that final whistle and pick up something from St James's Park. But I really do think this is going to be a tough evening for them, Mark. This starting 11 for Newcastle, albeit there's a lot of players missing from it, there's enough quality there to certainly go on and win this game.
There is indeed. It's a huge week of footballing action across the Talksport network. You need the Talksport app ideally if you're going to listen to it all. It's free and available in all the usual places. Tonight, Mickey and I are live here at St James's Park. Over on Talksport, you'll hear West Ham Tottenham live from 8:15 with Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and the former England striker Darren Bent. We've also on the app got Nottingham Forest against Fulham, Bournemouth Palace and Burnley Wolves tonight. Download the app, click on the live games, click on the game you want to listen to. Tomorrow live on Talksport, Arsenal against Luton. We've got on the app Brentford against Brighton, and on the Talksport 2 network tomorrow, Manchester City against Aston Villa is live with Ian Danta and the former Watford striker Troy Deeney. And on a Thursday night, Liverpool Sheffield United live on Talksport and Chelsea Manchester United live on Talksport 2. So all 10 Premier League games are live and only live on the Talksport network. We are live at St James's Park. The roar goes around. It's Newcastle against Everton. Newcastle chasing European football for a second successive season. Everton hoping to avoid the drop. We are underway here, and it is Pickford who's on the ball early. Cue the boos, knocks it long and downfield as Everton attack the Gallowgate end away to our right-hand side. Here is Onana, plays it forward, but the keeper, Dubravka, in a lime green goalkeeping strip, is quickly out and collects it. And here on the near side is Lewis Hall, one of 4 changes, as Newcastle, who left it really late at the weekend, will look, Mickey, to get off to a much better start here tonight.
Well, they'll want to try and start this game the way that they ended the game against West Ham, because this place was absolutely rocking at the end of that. And if they can stoke up that atmosphere, which they normally do at St James's Park, it does make that 12th man, and it makes it so difficult for any side to come here and pick up anything. I know it's not been as good as the season before, but they've still picked up quite a few points at St James's Park. And I'm just looking at the way that Everton have set up. It is Godfrey on this right-hand side, Mikolenko on the left, but those two older midfield players, Idrissa Gueye and Onana, just sitting in front of the back four. They've got to keep it tight, Mark, for as long as they possibly can.
We were talking in the build-up to this one, in the last 6 Premier League games here at St James's Park, there's been 31 goals. They've scored 16, conceded 15. It's like Kevin Keegan's comeback. But for Everton, they are struggling badly for goals, and they might be struggling here as they're trying to play down this left-hand side. The back pass to Pickford in the end was actually quite a good one, and the ball works its way forward. The long ball downfield is out of play, and the multi-ball system is on, and that means that Newcastle, Sean Dyche is organising his troops, and here is Isak into the edge of the area, tries the shot, it's blocked, and then the shot comes in, and it's cleared away by the keeper Pickford towards the far side. Pulled back here a chance as listeners on Talksport join us here live on Talksport 2 at St James's Park. Really lively start here for Newcastle. It's still 0-0, but Newcastle attacking now as a cross comes in from the right hand side, and finally Everton will just thump it clear. The roar again goes around St James's Park. Mickey Gray, Newcastle starting very much on the front foot here.
No, absolutely, and they look really strong down this left hand side, and as you mentioned, Mark, the multi-ball didn't really help Everton out there, did it? They just got on with it. Newcastle, another ball into the box here as they clear it, but two big chances. The one fall to Isak, got his shot away, deflected, but then Harvey Barnes on the follow-up. I mean, it's a brilliant save from Jordan Pickford, but I think Harvey Barnes has got to do better there, really do. A man in form after 2 goals against West Ham. I was waiting for that ball just to roll into the back of the net. Big chance for the home side.
Yeah, Everton being penned back inside their own half here as another ball rolls into the edge of the area, but that's well dealt with by Jared Branthwaite, who will look to play out from the back. And there could be a counter-attack on here. Doucouré has it, and he will feed it wide to Ashley Young. Young now going towards the Gallagate end. He's gone past his man. Now tries to poke the ball forward. Doucouré can't get on the end of it. And that is 0-0. This game live and exclusive on Talksport 2 tonight with myself and Mickey Gray. Newcastle 0, Everton 0. So here then, Newcastle have it. You just feel that they're going to be so reliant on counter-attacks, Mickey, and they've got to be more careful with that final ball.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Ashley Young, it's the first time he's touched the ball in the game there. He does the right thing. You know, he tries to play in Beto, a little dink over the top. He gets it wrong, but you can see they've got to just try and hold that line with the 2 holding midfield players in front. When they get the opportunity, the quality's got to be so precise. And in that final third, when that chance comes, they've got to be clinical.
Here now, a good win by Hall. Looks to play it forward. Isak, though, had come towards the ball. The ball went in behind him, and Branthwaite will just cushion the header back to Pickford, who again is roundly booed.
He's going to have to get used to that, I think, Mark, but he's experienced now, Jordan. He certainly knows how to handle those nerves if he had any when he walked through the tunnel at St James's Park.
Oh, now Dan Burn was caught here. He's gone to head the ball away. He's the captain of Newcastle tonight. He's gone and won a powerful header, and Beto has just come away from the challenge holding his head, but was it his head, was it his arm? I think it was his head of Beto. It is a clash of heads, but determined defending from Burn, but he will have felt that.
Well, he looks a little bit phased, Dan Burn, there, doesn't he? Playing as a centre-half tonight as well, so he's going to be certainly in the wards, there's no doubt about that. I mean, Beto's very late, isn't he, with that challenge? But I think maybe because it's early on in the game, he's got away with it. It was eyes on the ball, he just timed his header wrong.
Yeah, I think Dan Burn put that much into the header that it was almost his momentum as well carried him into the Everton player who, with you, was a fraction late. Here's Harvey Barnes on this near side. Barnes, 2 goals off the bench at the weekend, feeds it into the edge of the area, and it's crossed in and it's hacked away again by Everton. The ball not yet out of play. Looked like he might have hit a hand there of Young, but here forward now goes Doucouré. He's got Beto in front of him, but only Beto in front of him, and he does really well, Doucouré. Anderson challenged him strongly, but the ball breaks for Everton, and Onana has it in the centre of midfield. Here now is Idrissa Gueye. He gets it out wide on the Everton left-hand side. 0-0 if you've just joined us here, but Newcastle dominant early on. As the ball goes back here, and it'll be rolled back by James Tarkowski, the captain of Everton, on this 12-game run without a win. Long ball forward, not a bad ball either. Down on the Everton left-hand side, it's pulled back here to Doucouré. There's a chance here for Doucouré, who lashes a shot, and it's only inches over the crossbar. Keeper may well have had it covered, but that was a decent effort from the visitors. Still 0-0.
It just proves, doesn't it, you don't have to play pretty football from back to front to get an opportunity at the end of it. Long ball from Everton down the left-hand side. Mikalenko, lovely first touch after saying that. Pull back to Doucouré. It's a great strike, actually. Just needs to get over it a little bit more and keep it below that crossbar. But there's opportunities here for Everton early on in this game. There's gaps in that midfield area, and Doucouré, a little bit more concentration, should do a little bit better.
He's got 6 Premier League goals this season, Doucouré. As the ball forward is over the top of Murphy on the far side, and it's allowed to roll out for a throw into Everton, and they use the multi-ball system to get it back to Pickford, who then thumps it long towards and over the halfway line. All headed down, but Beto's going to get it first here. And Beto now is running at the back 4. He stumbles over on the far side, and the referee says that he's been brought down here. And this is a free kick for Everton, right on the left-hand side of the penalty area.
Yeah, Emil Kraft, I think, is the culprit here. It's Bruno Guimaraes who gives the ball away. Don't see that very often, but Beto picks the ball. And we know when he gets on 1v1, he's got that stride to get away from his marker, and Kraft just catches his ankles. It is a free kick, and this is in a dangerous situation for Everton down that left-hand side, certainly with that left foot of Mikolenko, who looks like he stood over the top of this one as well. See, they're quite a physical side as well, the height of Onana. You can see Beto, Branthwaite. They've got a chance here.
Yeah, it's actually going to be McNeil who will take it now. Mikolenko's just pulled away to the left, almost as a short option, but surely McNeil is going to whip this into the penalty area. He floats it towards the far post. They're there, and it's a free header, and Tarkowski's put it over the top. That was a huge chance for Everton.
Well, I've got to, what is that, 2 or 3 games in a row, Tarkowski's found himself in great positions in that 6-yard area, normally quite clinical. I think he's only got 1 goal this season as well, Mark, and he should be doing better there. Whether he's not given it, I think it's Onana who's just in front of him. Maybe he's given a little bit of a late shout there, and he sees the ball late. Might be helping him out here a little bit, but I think he's got to hit the target there. I certainly do.
I think he hits the target. He's given the keeper all sorts of problems. It's still 0-0. 0-0 in the early game as well at the City Ground. It's live on the Talksport app. Nottingham Forest against Fulham. Forest, another team involved down at the wrong end of the Premier League table. 0-0 here. Dan Burn playing in the centre-back position tonight, gets it away on this near side to Lewis Hall. Just a second start for him this season. Ball fed forward, lovely turn round the corner, and brought down was Barnes, and that will be a free kick for Newcastle that they wanted to take quickly. But Guimaraes just holds off, and eventually will take it to this near side, and they're going to start like a little training ground move, but they lost it quickly there, Newcastle. And now Young's ball forward deflects into the Newcastle dugout, and it's a throw for Everton. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it was clever play, wasn't it, from Harvey Barnes? I think he knew that he wasn't going to get anywhere with that little flick around the corner. James Tarkowski, he couldn't really get himself out of the way. Centre half, always going to be a foul, but when they get on with it, Newcastle, there's always seems to be 2 or 3 options. Those little intricate passes, triangle passes, but this time, unfortunately for them, didn't work out.
No, it didn't. Still goalless, but chances at both ends here. Newcastle could get the victory and results go their way. They're still in the mix for the top 6 or the top 7, if that's how it has to be. 5 points behind going into tonight's fixtures. A full midweek calendar, and all 10 games are live on the Talksport network. Ball forward down the right. They're trying to get Murphy away. Ball's cleared away from him and knocked up towards halfway. Strong challenge goes in there by Shah, but forward come Everton again, and it's McNeil who's skipping across the field, and he gets the ball out on this near side. Chance for the cross, and it's into the edge of the 6-yard box here, where Ashley Young was trying to turn. He thought he'd won a corner, but he hasn't, and it's behind for a goal kick. But another half-decent, promising move from Everton.
Well, the build-up play's really good from Dwight McNeil, switching the ball across from left to right, driving with it to bring in Ben Godfrey, and when it goes into the box to Ashley Young, I just wonder, he can't feel anybody around him. He's tried to do it first time, that little chop around the corner. I think he would have been better just holding the ball up, waiting to feel that contact. Then he would have been able to get his strike away.
Here now could be a chance on the break for the home side. Guimaraes points and wants the ball, and he's got room outside him on the right. Lovely chance for the early cross in, and it's cleared away at the near post for a corner. Lovely attacking move. Guimaraes involved. And Kraft down that right-hand side gets the cross in, but it's blocked out for a corner.
Much better from Newcastle, isn't it? I think when they all start playing well, Newcastle, everything seems to go through Guimaraes. Emil Kraft loves getting forward down that right-hand side. Just tries to keep it low and fire across the 6-yard area. Fortunately, Everton got themselves back into a good position, but Newcastle's certainly dangerous from corners.
Yeah, it's going to be an in-swinger. Everton defending their 6-yard box here. Just awaiting the delivery. Not sure what the delay is here. The referee seems happy to let them get on with it. Newcastle just taking their time. And now the ball delivered deep to the far post, where Isak will head it back across goal. Might fall on the volley. It did, but the volley was blocked. Newcastle will recycle possession, go back to the centre circle. They're attacking away to our left. 0-0 here. Watching 10 on the clock. The crossfield ball has been cut out. Got our first Premier League goal of the night. It comes at the City ground. We'll go there in a moment. In fact, we'll go there right now. Jeff Peters, a goal between Nottingham Forest and Fulham. Who's got it?
Forest lead Fulham by a goal to nil. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White with the pass. Hudson-Odoi left-hand channel into the box, cut inside, right-footed, drilled it beyond Leno. Excellent goal. Forest 1, Fulham 0.
Cheers, Jeff. All the goals as they go in across the Talksport network tonight. That game is live on the app, of course, as well. But that's a big goal at the bottom for Forest. Can Everton conjure up something here? They're back on the attack again. They've got it. Here is Young on the right-hand side. Lays it back now to Godfrey. Godfrey gets it away to Anana, who just flicks the ball back to Ashley Young, and it's back to Godfrey again. And it's like those three have brought their own ball, and they're passing it between each other again. And now Newcastle hassling and harrying win it back. And that was good work from Gimaresh. And ultimately, Everton's little passage of passing play comes to nothing.
Yeah, it's like they're frightened to play that through ball, Mark. Nobody wants to be the player to give the ball away from Everton. Ashley Young, on 3 occasions, he had Lewis Hall in a 1v1 situation, but didn't want to commit to taking him down the right-hand side, or then just chop him back onto his left and just putting that ball into the box. Look, Beto's a willing guy. He'll try and get his head on the end of it if the quality's there, but just give him a chance. As a centre forward, you want that ball come into the box.
Well, there's a great flick on there from Isak Van Harvey Barnes, who's now put a crossfield ball in. Murphy's got it. He's going to put the cross to the far post. Barnes arriving late, but a good header. Nicks it away from him and puts it behind for a corner. That was a much-needed header from Ben Godfrey at the far post for Everton.
Yeah, really good from Ben Godfrey, having to switch from left back to right back this evening as well, and he's settled into the game pretty well. You always know when that ball comes to the back stick, you've got to be there as a full-back. Make sure that nobody's going to get on the end of it. Gets up high, clears his lines, just takes the pressure off his back line.
Certainly does. Corner though for Newcastle United. Can they convert it here? It's going to be Murphy who will deliver it in. A right-footed in-swinging corner. Again, Everton defending deep in their own penalty area. The ball into the 6-yard box, and a header was deflected away from goal, and Everton not yet cleared it. They will now. It's an up and under clearance downfield that is headed away well by Kraft, and then the ball flicked on by Murphy, but Tarkowski will just wait for Pickford. Cue the boos to come and collect it. So Nottingham Forest lead Fulham by a goal to nil. You are listening to Newcastle against Everton on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action live, contract free, with an Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports for more details.
Sorry, Mark, it's interesting when that ball comes into the box from corners, isn't it? I don't think Dan Bird's probably come up alongside somebody who's maybe the similar height to him.
Well, here's the ball over the top, and Isak's in on goal here. Cuts onto his right foot, going to pull the trigger now, and finds the bottom corner. Alexander Isak lights up St James's Park. 15th Premier League goal of the season. It's the 5th successive game in which he's scored here in the Premier League. What a touch, put him in front of goal, and he placed it past Pickford. Newcastle lead. Newcastle 1, Everton 0.
Well, something that's not happened since 2013. 5 in a row for Alexander Isak, and it's absolutely top class from a top class player. 15 goals this season, and he makes it himself eventually when the ball does find him in the opposition's half. He's so clever with his feet. He's always a willing runner. And when he just makes that run, I mean, where's the mark? And you've got to stay goal side. They don't do that. Once he gets you stood up in the 18-yard box, shows great feet. Could have actually gone down for a penalty mark as well, but wants to stay on his feet because he's full of confidence. Chops inside Branthwaite, inside again, and what a super finish to give Jordan Pickford absolutely no chance in that Everton goal. I talked about staying in the game for as long as you can. They've not been able to do it. They've hung on for 15 and a half minutes, but that's a brilliant finish and a great start for Newcastle.
You can't beat having a striker in form. You mentioned it, Mickey. He could have gone down under the challenge. He had no thought in his mind other than he was going to put that in the back of the net. And it was the coolness, the clinical finish, just passed it past Pickford, who had no chance. And Newcastle lead by a goal to nil here, live on Talksport 2. And Everton's woes continue, and here come Newcastle looking to double their advantage, but the touch was just a heavy one over on the far side. Murphy couldn't keep it in, and it rolls away for a goal kick. So Newcastle strike first, and well, Everton don't score many, do they? Just 2 away goals in the last 7 in the league. They've only scored 1 first half goal in the last 10 in the Premier League. They need some answers, Sean Dyche's side, looking at a record 13th Premier League game without a win. Just the start Eddie Howe and Newcastle would have wanted. They lead by a goal to 0.
It just didn't look like he was panicking at all, Mark, did he? As soon as he picked the ball up, Isak, player full of confidence. And as you mentioned there, some centre forwards maybe would have thought, right, I felt a little bit of contact, I'm going to go to ground, we'll take our chances from the penalty spot. Not one thought in his mind. He wanted to go through the 2 centre halves and just slot that ball into the corner. Full of confidence, great finish. And listen to this place now, it's just erupted, didn't it? Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, well, a word of warning, Isak did put Newcastle in front of the weekend, but they soon found themselves behind again. But they look in the mood, don't they, tonight? They look full of confidence. A team buoyed by a win. They've not been in the most consistent of form of late. They've had a tough run fixture-wise, but haven't been able to put together a run of form to lift them up the table just yet. But signs are, despite the depleted numbers, those that remain are giving it everything going forward here. And Hall works his way edge of the area. Is he going to fashion an opportunity? The shot blocked, and in the end it's actually good defending from Onana. Plays it forward. Beto is thumped from behind by Dan Burn, and that will be a free kick for the visitors.
I mean, it's clever play, isn't it, from Dan Burn? He knows that Beto's going to hold that ball up. His first touch has got to be so precise, and Dan Burn just gets so close to him. Any little bit of contact, he's going to go to ground. But when I say a clever foul, it's around about the centre circle. He's not really going anywhere with it. He's got to work wonders, Beto, if he's going to hold that ball up and get himself on a half turn and start running at this back line of Newcastle. But at the moment, they're not getting themselves into positions where they're causing Newcastle a threat in behind, and they've got to start to do it.
Pickford will take the free kick. Newcastle holding a really high line here. Ball played to the edge of the area. It's not quite cleared away just yet. It will be now. And Barnes is looking to turn. And Barnes fancies a foot race here against Godfrey down the near side. Godfrey just gets back momentarily, but the ball still with Barnes, who's got support runners with him. Is that a good challenge or a bad one? It's a bad one, says the official. And it's going to be a free kick for Newcastle United, level with the edge of the penalty area, about 5 in from the left-hand touchline.
A couple of little cheeky fouls there for Andre Onana. Got to be careful. I'm sure Tony Harrington will be looking at that, thinking, well, maybe the next one might find himself very early going into the book.
Yeah. 19 on the clock here on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson, the former Sunderland star, whisper it quietly. Mickey Gray, and we are just going to have a moment here at St James's Park, and this is to allow the players that are observing the Ramadan to break their fast. So a couple of the Everton players are doing that at the moment, and that's been pre-agreed by the Premier League, and rightly so as well, for those that do observe Ramadan to break their fast. So that's been happening right here, right now. Nottingham Forest lead by a goal to 0 against Fulham. That game live on the Talksport app. Callum Hudson-Odoi with a goal there. And here Alexander Isak, 15th Premier League goal of the season. A man at the peak of his powers, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, well, I mean, the speculation in the papers, I think, Mark, over the last couple of days, as well as he could be a £100 million man who might be actually leaving the club in the summer. I'm sure that all these Newcastle supporters will be hoping that they see him in a black and white shirt next season, because he's such a talent. He's a raw talent. I mean, if I want to do like a comparison with somebody who's played for Newcastle before, it would be Tino Asprilla. He's got that gangliness about him, if you know what I mean. When he picks up the ball, he looks a real threat, but he's got an eye for goal, and he's got everything as a striker, he really has, and that's why the top sides are looking at him.
Yeah, well, there's been another goal elsewhere in the Premier League. It's all happening for Jeff Peters at the City ground. Jeff, who's got this one?
It's Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 0. Chris Wood has got it 25 yards out, took a couple of touches, right-footed from distance. It's his 10th goal in 12 league starts. The keeper just didn't seem to be alert to it, adding to Hudson-Odoi's earlier goal. Forest 2, Fulham 0. They're flying.
They are flying, and that game is live over on the Talksport app right now. We'll have updates with Jeff throughout the night, but here Newcastle have got a free kick, maybe about 20 yards away from the corner flag, and it's going to be swung in left-footed towards the far post, and it's flicked away by an Everton defender. And the ball hammered out of play by Newcastle for a throw in midway inside the Everton half. 1-0 here, then 2-0 for Nottingham Forest. And that, you have to say, is, well, more bad news for those down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's any point's just key at the moment, Mark, isn't it? Try and get them on the board as quick as you can, and you're probably not going to get to that 40-point mark, but as many points as you can get on the board is just so vital at the moment, certainly when we don't know what's going to happen with Everton over the next couple of weeks. Are they going to lose any more points? We're still waiting to hear that. Nottingham Forest have obviously had the deduction as well.
Yeah, they have. Ball played out to this near side. Everton attacking away to our right. Newcastle can't keep the ball in field, and it's out for a throw-in. Sean Dyche's side have been really struggling for goals of late. They made 4 changes here tonight in a hope to stop their run of misfortune. But at the moment it's not working. Pickford, his ball over on the far side is headed away and then kept in by Newcastle, who have it on halfway. There's a little bit of a nibble there from Idrissa Gueye into the heels of the Newcastle player in front of him, and now forward comes Lewis Hall, gets it on halfway, and he now will roll it back to his captain for the night, Dan Burn. Jamal Lascelles ACL, what a blow that is for him in Newcastle, sustained here at the weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is. And obviously having Botman out as well at the moment, Mark, it's a real blow for Eddie. And you touched on those injuries they've had this season. I mean, there's a lot of squads can maybe handle it, but it's been so difficult for Newcastle. I mean, the amount of changes to their 11 as the season's gone on, it just makes it so hard to get that flow week in, week out.
It is. It's really been unprecedented. I know they carry big squads, Premier League teams these days, but it is been a savage year injury-wise, as Pickford came out of his area to collect the ball and then just retreats back, allows the ball to roll back in, and he will collect it. 1-0 Newcastle lead. Alexander Isak with a goal. Nottingham Forest lead by 2-0 against Fulham at the City ground. As Pickford is playing dangerous here on the edge of his own area, and Onana, I'm not sure he knew that the Newcastle player was there. And in the end, Everton have done really well to win a throw-in on the near side there. That was, well, it had danger written all over it.
Yeah, they're not the type of team that you look at and think Everton love to play out from the back. And when they do it, they look a little bit shaky, don't they? I don't think Tarkowski looks real comfortable on the ball. Branthwaite, I think, is a fantastic defender, but he's not the greatest footballer in the world. And when you're chopping and changing your fullbacks all the time, that understanding between each other has got to be absolutely spot on, and they looked very nervy a second ago.
Anderson as well to ride a challenge. You mentioned other games in the Premier League about to get underway. Remember, all 10 midweek fixtures this week are live and only live exclusively on the Talksport network. On the app tonight, Bournemouth Crystal Palace, Burnley against Wolves, and then on Talksport, 8:15 kick-off at the London Stadium as West Ham, who were beaten here in a thriller at the weekend, take on Spurs. Always a keenly contested game, that one. Sam Matterface is with Darren Bent as here come Newcastle with Guimaraes on the halfway line. Looks to spread the ball out wide, and well, was that a chance of a penalty? The ball was taken high there by Kraft. It was getting forward from the back down the right. He went to chest it. Was he caught in the air? He certainly thought he was. Mikolenko it was. I'm not sure there's a lot in that.
No, I think that would have been really harsh given as a penalty. There was a few jeers and cheers from the Newcastle supporters, Mark, but a little bit of contact as Kraft made his way into the air to try and bring that down on his chest, but not for me. It would have been very harsh.
It would. Tony Harrington is the official in the middle tonight, and the VAR Michael Salisbury. Everton have conceded a Premier League joint high of 7 penalties this season, and Newcastle have pounced in the centre circle. Barnes peels off to the left-hand side. Now he cuts into the penalty area. He's looking for the curler. It got blocked initially, but he gets it straight back here. We'll get it away on this near side. Then they find a cross. They're just going to roll it in towards goal, and it's hoofed away towards the near side. Everton not quite clearing the danger. Newcastle have got it down by the corner flag, their left-hand side of the field. Work it way towards the edge of the area. Now they're going back towards halfway, but they do retain possession. Here is Guimaraes in the centre circle, in the halfway line, and now just keeps the ball, uses his skill, and Newcastle looks so comfortable upon the ball, and now they'll work it into the middle of the field. Still 1-0 their lead.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience here being shown by Newcastle, because they got themselves into a great position through Elliot Anderson, who started the game really lively, but he had the chance to drive into the 18-yard box, and I think he played that ball out to the left-hand side a little bit too quickly for Harvey Barnes. He's got to hang on to it because he's got the quality to do so.
Well, Beto there was a potential counter-attack on for Everton, but he tried to buy the foul off Byrne. He almost ran into him and just fell over, and the referee was right next to him, said get on with it. Yeah. Sean Dyche is not happy, but...
Mark, I have to say, Beto looks like a rabbit in headlights at the moment. He really does. He doesn't know whether to stick or twist, because when the ball's coming into him, his hold-up play's not good enough. When he actually gets on a half-turn and he's running at Newcastle, he's getting caught in between his feet, as if he's thinking, well, if I don't score a goal, I'm not going to play it to one of my teammates either side of me, because they're going to mess up as well. You just need to keep it simple.
Well, here's Shah on a driving run. He gets it away. Now Guimaraes gets it out wide on the near side. Chance for the cross to come in from the Newcastle left. There are two in black and white on this side of the field. Guimaraes makes it 3. He will lay it back. Here now is Hall, has got the chance to put the cross in. He works his way in. Now there was a tangling there on the edge of the box. Newcastle are not happy. They didn't get a free kick. Referee plays on. Beto's offload again was not a good one. He had two teammates and he missed both of them. And now Newcastle are flooding forward. There are 5 black and white shirts waiting. Shot comes in and it fizzes just wide of the target. Murphy it was who blazed a shot towards goal. Pickford at full stretch, but the ball goes the wrong side of the woodwork. Still 1-0.
Well, I just mentioned it, didn't I? Beto has got to do better. You can see Sean Dyche in front of us now. He's looking across and he's got his arms by his side saying, look, you've got to either hold the ball up or you've got to play it to one of your teammates. You cannot give it away to this Newcastle side who will just get themselves on a half turn, burst towards the edge of the box. And again, Murphy, for me, we know he's got the quality. We've seen it over the last few weeks. He has got a rocket of a right foot. He's got to hit the target. Great strike, but keep it below that crossbar.
Byrne wins another good header. Newcastle dominant, but the lead is only 1. We welcome along listeners on Talksport. What a fantastic start for Newcastle United. They lead Everton by 1-0. The goal coming from who else? Alexander Isak scores in a 5th successive game here at St James's Park in the Premier League. His 15th Premier League goal of the season. Harvey Barnes just helped the ball over the top of the Everton defence. Isak into the area, cut the ball onto his right foot, could have gone down under pressure. Here's Beto at the other end, who blazes a shot well wide. But going back to the Isak chance, could have gone down under a challenge, drove into the centre of the goal and just curled it beautifully past Pickford and into the bottom corner. We've just seen Jacob Murphy go really close as well, fired a shot inches over the target. At the other end, Beto's just had that effort for Everton, but Mickey Gray, Newcastle absolutely dominant, and a wonderful goal for Isak.
Yeah, in every position. They've just been so dominant, and when that opportunity came, it fell to the right person. Still had a lot of work to do, I have to say, Alexander Isak, but superb from a top quality player. And when he got in the box, he never really thought about missing, did you? You were just waiting for the ball to roll in the back of the net. And the difference between the strikers that I've just talked about, Beto, he's just had a half a chance himself there, Mark. He actually worked really well at the beginning. Lovely little run towards the edge of the D, but panicked a little bit because he knows he's not going to get too many chances tonight. And I mean, he's missed the goal by what, 40 yards? Yeah, ridiculous.
It was like one of yours, that, Mickey. This game is live and exclusive over on Talksport 2. Newcastle on top here at the moment as we have played half an hour. It's Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Free kick though for Everton here, and a chance for them to maybe launch a set-piece opportunity. You are listening to Newcastle against Everton on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van.
These are so important for Everton, Mark. they're not going to get big chances tonight, and when they do get set pieces, they're key.
Yeah, now the ball delivered. There are bodies all over on the ground. Tarkowski tried to win it over on the far side, and it's just in the end scrambled away. Byrne it was, I think, who got the touch. It's out for a throw-in. That was a dubious-looking throw-in, as the ball now is crossed towards the far post. Good header away at the far post from Lewis Hall. And now forward here come Newcastle United. Guimaraes is trying to work it wide to Barnes, but Barnes just overran him and Guimaraes couldn't find him, and it's out for a throw-in. How good is it for Newcastle to have Harvey Barnes fit and available again? He is a threat, isn't he? His pace as well. Forget how quick he is, really.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would have been a real challenge for Anthony Gordon down that left-hand side if he'd have kept himself fit throughout the whole of the season, Mark. I really do, and it would have helped Eddie Howe, as obviously rotation's key in the Premier League.
Well, here's Beto. He has got him behind. He's wide on the left-hand side. Young is on the edge of the area, and again, it's not the pass of a confident footballer, is it? He scuffed his pass.
Well, somebody who, off the back of a goal, Mark, and he's been given a big opportunity tonight at St James's Park in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You say to yourself, inwardly, you go, do you know what? This is my chance. I've got the chance to play, 7-8 games till the end of the season. I'm going to make it tonight. I'm going to make the difference. He's so poor, giving the ball away and just making the wrong decisions. Simple passes, just giving the ball away. And that's Everton's problem. It just does not stick, so they're just defending all of the time.
Mikalenko involved in a real battle. As Guimaraes out fights him and earns a goal kick for Newcastle. 1-0. Newcastle lead here. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the bench tonight for Everton. 23 without a goal. Having had a really good start to the season, but it's just dried up, and he just needs one to go in off him any way it can.
Yeah, oh, look, he'll get his opportunity at some point tonight, Mark, but he still wants Everton to be in the game. He doesn't want Newcastle to be out of sight, maybe 2 or 3 in front, where you're coming on for the last 20-25 minutes of the game and you can't really make an impact in it. I think, we touched on it before the game, don't we? I think Calvert-Lewin, when he does come onto the field, he's just got to get back to being a centre forward and sticking that ball in the back of the net, making runs in behind, trying to hit those strikes first time.
Yeah, sorry, Mickey. It's currently Newcastle 1, Everton 0, and for all the latest thoughts, you can head over to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Newcastle to win at 1-3, Everton to win at 17-2. The draw is 19-5. There's a ball headed forward by Everton. Young's going to try and keep it in and work it on this near side. This time, Doucouré does find his man, and Godfrey now will go back to Onana. And now Everton will have it on halfway. Those odds were all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. BeGambleAware.org, 18 plus only. Ball into the area. There's a slow motion fall from Beto. There might have been the softest of hands on his back, but he looked like Del Boy falling through the bar there, Mickey, didn't he?
Yeah, he needs to do more. He's got to show more front and back playing for Everton.
Here's Guimaraes looking to get the ball away, but nice defending, but the ball falls kindly. Here's Murphy, finds Isak. Is he going to pull the trigger? He tries to square it, falls to the far post. There are almost too many in the way there for Newcastle. They get in each other's way, and Godfrey bundles it behind for a corner. I just wonder there if Isak's just got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit too unselfish. I think he, as that ball comes to him, Mikalenko makes the mistake, but Murphy, when he plays him in a 1v1 like that, the quality that he's got and the confidence he's showing Isak, he takes the full back on and he gets his strike away. Selfish tried to play in Sean Longstaff. He's had to kind of half turn his body and tilt it around. So difficult to do, but see how Newcastle are just breaking when they get the opportunities. They're just breaking Everton down.
They are. Corner for Newcastle. Can they extend their lead here at St James's Park? There's a ball whipped in. Great delivery. Who did that come off last? It came off the Newcastle captain tonight, Dan Byrne, at the near post, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just had a look at Tony Harrington, the referee, and he wanted another corner. I think he thought the last touch came off Branthwaite, and just seen a replay of it there, Mark. I think he's got a point, I have to say. It's a bit of a match, that, isn't it? Two big centre-halves want to try and head it. Dan Byrne coming out on top with a flick there, but the last one certainly coming from Branthwaite.
Yeah, you'd have to agree with that. Branthwaite, who's been courted by several big stars, as Isak just tried to play Murphy, just overpitched the pass and Pickford out quickly. to collect it round the edge of his 18-yard box.
Now, there's one thing, Mark. He's an outstanding player, Alexander Isak, with the 15 goals he's got this season, but there's a couple of occasions where he tried to play that through ball, and just having a look at his assists, I don't know if you're on the same page as me, but is it one?
Well, here's Young trying to play the ball in. Yeah, it's not been what you would have expected, has it?
Yeah, certainly with the quality that he's got. I think his assist will be a lot more than that, but there's no doubting about it. He is a team player.
Yeah, he is. Here now is McNeil, gets the ball away over on the far side, picks it back up. You're live on Talksport. Remember, elsewhere, Nottingham Forest 2, Fulham 0 is the latest score. They're underway Bournemouth Palace and Burnley Wolves. All three of those games are live on the Talksport app. Over on Talksport, 8:15 start. What a game. West Ham against Spurs, live and exclusive on Talksport with Adrian Durham, Sam Manterface and Darren Bent, our commentary team in position there. And more live football on Wednesday and Thursday from the Premier League. The only place you'll hear it is live on the Talksport network. If you've not got the app, you need to get it now. Another good tackle, another Everton player falling to the ground, and another break now for Barnes down this left-hand side. And he looks to take on Gay, but across comes Tarkowski and makes a challenge, and it's out for a throw-in. About 25 yards away from the corner flag, but hold on, there's more injury trouble here. Lewis Hall has just gone down.
I'm not quite sure why he's gone down, Mark, and what he's actually holding on to. He's not played a lot of football this season, Lewis Hall, has he? It looks like he's holding on to his side or his hip, as if he's had an elbow in the ribs or something, but I'm sure he's going to continue. Maybe just needed that little bit of treatment, and he's just gone to ground here, but hopefully he's going to be okay.
Eddie Howe's just gone to sit down. I don't want to see it, he says. I don't want to see it.
He's had enough,
please,
hasn't he?
No more.
Well, in the same breath, you can see all these Everton players coming across and getting a little bit of refreshments, and they've got to get some information on. Look, I don't know if this system sooner. For me, Andre Onana's got to play in a more advanced position. We saw him play against England in that position. He done fantastically well. But the physical presence of the guy, he's got to get himself up the field and help out Dwight McNeil, Ashley Young, Beto and Decore, and say to himself, I'm going to take this game by the scruff of the neck and make something happen, because he's got all the ability, but it's like the reins are on him. You know, it's sat in front of that back four, and Sean Dyche has said to him, look, you do not move from in front of my back four, because if you do, we'll get absolutely pummeled all over the place. And I think he's got better quality than Onana, and he's got to try and prove it and show it a lot more.
Still 1-0. Hall is up on his feet. He's over on the near side. The Newcastle physio. Well, if he's paid by the patient, he'll be the richest man in Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely.
1-0 it is here. Newcastle on the attack, or they will be when they take the throw in, which they put down the line. They're looking to try and earn a corner, and they almost did. The ball cannoned off the corner flag and went out for a throw in. All still waiting to come back on, so Newcastle in effect have got 10 at the moment, but they lead by a goal to nil. Isak with a goal. Lovely finish as well, never looked like missing. Have they got a corner this time? No, it's another throw in. Down by that corner flag, away to our left here, this magnificent stadium that is sold out again. It's the ball down by the corner flag. Everton are trying to clear it. Oh, now then. Well, there was an attempted clearance there by Decore, and I think he's kicked the Newcastle player by accident, I hasten to add, but I think he's quite lucky he's got away with that.
Well, there isn't too many appeals, Mark. I'll give him that. I think it's Elliot Anderson who actually there's contact with, isn't it, from Decore, and he does swing that right foot, I have to say. And if there had been a lot more contact, then we might have been talking about it right now for a long time.
Beto did really well there to keep the ball in field, and now the flick from Decore finds Beto again. He rides a challenge again. That's much better from the Everton striker. He's driving forward, gets the ball out wide on the near side to Young. Here's Godfrey now, feeds it into McNeil, edge of the area, goes down. He just had the ball nicked away from him as he was thinking about trying to organise a shot. And now a foul on this near side on Emil Kraft, who was sweeping up. Beto's brought him down, and the referee will blow the whistle.
Yeah, it's great play from Newcastle. First of all, defensively, they're at it tonight, Mark, aren't they? When they give the ball away, they're hunting in packs, 5-6 players around Beto when he picks up that ball. But when they do get it, if there's grass in front of them, they run into it, they don't ignore the pass, and they get themselves out of some really sticky situations. And I said, there's a mismatch, isn't there, between the two sides tonight, the way Newcastle have approached it. And if they do get that second goal, you would think this game would be dead and buried. But at the moment, Everton is still in it. They've just got to try and somehow get themselves to half-time. If it only is a goal deficit, then Sean Dyche can reevaluate the situation, maybe come out with a different idea in the second half to say, look, this is how we can break Newcastle down. They will run out of steam eventually.
41 minutes gone here. Everton not scoring in the first half should not be a surprise to Everton fans. Happens more often than not in the Premier League at the moment, as McNeil is dispossessed on the halfway line, and now the ball is fed forward. Isak peels off to the right of play, tries to play it to Murphy, who's quick, but he's beaten to it by Everton's number 6, James Tarkowski. Ball is still in play. Newcastle have won it back. They're appealing for a handball, but they retain possession anyway, and they have it wide on that right-hand side, but the crossfield switch was a poor one. Young intercepts it on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Beto's trying to get between three, and he almost held off Hall, whose back pass wasn't the best, but Dubravka did really, really well to save the day there for Newcastle.
Yeah, very good from Dubravka. He's made a few mistakes this season since he's been given his opportunity, but on the ball there, sweeper keeper if you like.
Here's Young trying to get in down the side of Byrne. He was going to have a swing there, Byrne, and he realised if he'd got it wrong it would have been a penalty, so he let play go on. Here's McNeil, fires it to the edge of the area. Here's Onana, tries to roll it in, fires to Corey, and fires the shot, and in the end Dubravka makes a really good save. High to his right-hand side, and he held onto it as well. Still 1-0 Newcastle.
Really good from Everton there. Going through the lines a lot quicker, and no surprise, Onana finds himself higher up the pitch. Plays a great little ball into Gore's path inside that 18-yard box. Lovely little first touch. Probably fell onto his weaker left foot. Didn't get enough pace on it, but Dubravka in the right place at the right time. Plucked it out of the sky, didn't he? But it's better from Everton. Want to see more of that.
Yeah, that was more like it. You expected that may have tested Dubravka more than it did. In the early kickoffs in the Premier League, remember 5 games live and exclusive across the Talksport network tonight. Newcastle here lead by a goal to nil. Nottingham Forest 2-0 up over Fulham. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Chris Wood in amongst the goals again. It's goalless Bournemouth, Palace and Burnley Wolves. And still to come West Ham Tottenham, as here forward come the home side. Isak edge of the area, tried to get it away. It was well defended by Mikalenko in the end, who went down almost on one knee to make himself bigger and block the pass. It was good work from him. The ball trying to fire in behind Mikalenko, who brings it down on his chest this time. And he will get the ball back to his goalkeeper. So still a couple of minutes, and I'm with you, Mickey. For as good as Newcastle have been, this is still only 1-0. And at 1-0, Sean Dyche will tell his team to keep believing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's no time to panic. There's still a long way to go in this game. And, whatever Sean comes out and says to his players at half-time, just got to come out with a little bit more vigour and try and a little bit more confidence as well. Don't be frightened to make a mistake. Take the game to Newcastle when you get the chance to do so.
Longstaff just turned over possession. Onana brings it forward, and Beto would have been in had the pass found him, but it was intercepted. And now forward go the black and whites, 5 of them in motion, led through the middle of the field. Here now on the far side is Murphy. Murphy just rolls it to the edge of the area. Guimaraes just pops the pass off and gets it back now. He's about 30 yards out from goal. He's looking. Plays it wide on the Newcastle right-hand side. They've been patient here, Newcastle. They've not forced the issue. And now they're looking to work it back towards the halfway line and maybe just trying to switch the angle of attack if they can. They'll work it back here. Now they come forward again. Murphy has it. Lays it off here. Could be a chance from the edge of the area. They'll try and feed it out wide to Barnes. Gets there before Pickford pulls it back. Pickford's out of his goal at the moment. Hall into the area. He can't get the shot away. He's forced away. That's really good defending. But the cross then comes in. He's headed away from Isak. Falls on the volley, and Pickford comes up with a fine save to deny Murphy on the far post. Great effort. Murphy's shot was on target. Another cross comes in. Tarkowski heads it away. As Newcastle looking for a second here as we go into 4 added on minutes at the end of the first half.
Wow, Jordan Pickford, albeit he's conceded one super goal from Alexander Isak. He saved Everton on 2 occasions. Jacob Murphy again down that right-hand side. Super strike on the volley to keep it low, but Jordan just spreads himself brilliantly to make an outstanding save. And he has to help them out. The experience that he's got, he's got to have a word with his defenders to mark a little bit well, brighter and quicker to stop those shots coming his way.
Yeah, it could be a break down the far side, but he just can't keep it in. Everton. Ball overrun and out for a throw in just over the halfway line. We are into 4 added on minutes here. Newcastle 1, Everton 0.
That's 2 great saves. Sorry, Mark. 2 great saves, isn't it, from Jordan Pickford, spreading himself on both occasions. The first one being from Harvey Barnes, but this time Jacob Murphy. Oh, look, Newcastle could be out of sight. Put those chances away. We're talking about a quality performance from the Geordies, but still 1-0 as you mentioned.
Yeah. Pickford showing his form. At the other end, Dubravka made that smart save as Guimaraes under pressure in. He's gone down, but he's going to get a free kick. Had that free kick have not come, Everton would have had a chance on goal. Must mention as well, there's a huge game tonight in League One. Portsmouth against Derby. 0-0, 15 gone there. In League Two, Doncaster 0, Wrexham 0. Ball here on this near side with Anderson. Maybe not quite got into the game as much as he would have hoped. Here is Guimaraes now. Plays the ball over the top, but it's over the top of Isak, and there's Pickford to collect it. And he will... Oh, was he caught there by Isak? I don't think he was. I think he's made the most of it, but Young's giving chase to the goal kick by Pickford. And eventually it's cleared away. And here is Anderson again. A bit of room in front of him. Now he can open up his stride. Looks to play the ball. It might have taken a deflection. He's found Isak, edge of the area here. Isak has got Barnes inside him. Tries to find Barnes. Barnes with a touch. Ball falls back to Isak, running across the edge of the 18-yard area. Pulls the trigger and he fires it inches over the top. It was like a bullet, that shot. And it got a touch maybe off Pickford as it goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, it just never fell kindly for Alexander Isak, did it? He started the move in the 18-yard box. Lovely little reverse pass into the 18-yard box, gets it again, and when he gets his right foot behind it, in between the legs of Tarkowski, just needed to keep it a little bit lower, but there's a centre forward full of confidence, taking every shot on, and why not?
Why not? When you've got 15 goals in the Premier League, and you've scored in your last 5 here at St James's Park, why wouldn't you take the opportunity? Now the corner is whipped in. It's another good delivery. It's bouncing around, and luckily for Everton, it falls straight into the arms of Pickford, who's been prevented from taking his kick there. And I think Isak's actually done really well for Newcastle. That was a professional foul, really, wasn't it?
They're clever at it, Mark. I mean, sides are starting to do that. Look, the best at it in the business is Man City. They do not let you start to counter-attack them. They get you on that midfield or the centre circle area, and they'll just give a little cheap foul away, and you can see Newcastle not wanting Everton to get on with things. Jordan Pickford, we know he's got great distribution with that left foot. He's played 2 great balls the last 2 times it's been in his hands.
Ball over the top for Everton, just too much on it. Dubravka collects round about the penalty spot, bowls it forward. We're into added on time, 4 minutes of it minimum here. Guimaraes comes forward. Can Newcastle take a huge step forward to back-to-back home wins if they can get a second goal here? Well, they've lost possession over on the far side, and the referee determines that will do it for the first half. But it's a warm ovation from the home fans here at St James's Park. Another 50,000 plus crowd here, and they've been entertained in that first half. Just the 1 goal to show for it. Alexander Isak on 15 minutes after Barnes just helped the ball over the Everton back line. Isak ran in, and while Blue Shirts got back, he chopped the ball onto his right foot and curled it beautifully into the far corner past Pickford. That was his 5th the game in a row he scored here at St James's Park, his 15th Premier League goal of the season, put Newcastle in front. There were chances at the other end. Decore had a shot over the top. Tarkowski with a header, should have done better, didn't hit the target. We saw Beto fire a shot well wide, but Newcastle had plenty of chances. Murphy plays a shot inches off target, then Barnes and Murphy both denied by fine saves from Pickford, and then Isak right at the end of the half fizzed a shot just millimetres over the crossbar. Newcastle deservedly in front here, Mickey Gray. Lead Everton by a goal to 0. What did you make of that first 45 minutes?
Yeah, well, look, the right side are going in at half-time in front. Newcastle were excellent from start to finish. I think it could be a little bit more clinical in front to goal, albeit from 2 outstanding saves from Jordan Pickford. This game could have been done and dusted, to be honest with you, and I think Everton have got to get in at half-time. Sean's got to have a word with his players and just demand another 10 or 15%, certainly from his forward players. Decore's got to get involved in the game a lot more. Young and McNeil, the quality's got to be better from those wider areas, and Beto's just got to be a centre forward who makes right decisions, holding the ball up when it needs to be held up, bring in your teammates, and when you do get on the half turn, show us better quality that you showed us when you first came to Everton, because he's got the quality, he's got the ability, but at the minute there's just a lack of confidence in the whole of Everton's side. And second half, they're still in the game, they're only a goal behind, so they can come out in the second half fighting and just give everything for that Everton shirt and try and get something from the game. But at the moment, the way the game looks like Newcastle are going to add to their goal tally already that they've got.
Yeah, it does look that way, doesn't it, at the moment? It is 1-0 here. Eddie Howe will be pleased, Mickey, but he will want, as we keep mentioning, that comfort blanket of a second goal. Yeah,
absolutely. Get the ball into those forward players because they are causing problems. Murphy and Barnes look really lively in those wide areas, but Alexander Isak, I mean, he's a joy to watch, isn't he? I think you come into a stadium and pay to watch somebody with his quality, because when he gets on the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. But his goal, the way he picked it up and ran into the 18-yard box, and when he was in there, as a defender, you don't want to touch him, you don't want to make contact, and he just skipped through the two centre-halves, and what a super finish. His 15th goal of the season, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was indeed. So it's half-time here. Newcastle 1, Everton 0 at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest lead Fulham by 2-0. That game is live right now on the Talksport app, as is Bournemouth Palace. Burnley against Wolves as well. Both those goalless at the moment. West Ham, they're taking on Spurs. That's just kicked off live at the London Stadium, live over on Talksport with Sam Matterface, Darren Bent and Adrian Durham. We've got plenty of live football to come over the next few days. All 10 of the midweek Premier League fixtures are live on the Talksport network. Tomorrow night on Talksport, Arsenal take on Luton, 7:30 start for that one. On the app, Brentford take on Brighton, and on Talksport 2 exclusively live tomorrow, it's Manchester City against Aston Villa, and we round off the midweek fixtures on Thursday. Liverpool, Sheffield United live on Talksport, and it's Talksport 2 exclusive. It's Chelsea against Manchester United. We told you it was goalless at Burnley, but there's been a breakthrough. Matt Jones, who's got the goal?
And it's gone the way of the hosts. It's Burnley 1, Wolves 0. It's a brilliant goal as well. The ball whipped into the box from deep by Vitinho, and it's met just inside the area by Larson, who sweeps it home with a wonderful first-time finish, finding the far corner. Sarr had no chance. It's Burnley 1, Wolves 0.
Thanks, Matt. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go, and it is live over on the Talksport app. The goals as they go in. A huge night of Premier League football, and we've got every angle covered here at St James's Park. It's Newcastle 1, Everton 0.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Now. Stream the Premier League contract free with a Now Sports day or month membership. 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Don't break your stride. Get to Screwfix for the latest offers on the brands you love. Like the next generation, more powerful, more compact Milwaukee 18-volt twin pack. It's new and exclusive to Screwfix at just $249.99. And get those lawns in order with a Titan grass trimmer, now only $49.99, a saving of £10. Shop now, on the app at screwfix.com or in-store. Delivery fees may apply. Prices valid until at least 6th of May, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Mwah. When it's lunch o'clock, I just eat the tortilla naked burrito bowl.
Oh, I didn't know you could get those.
There's a lot you don't know, dear.
Well, I know that shirt's not coming back into fashion anytime soon.
Touché.
Get tortilla, Subway, Pret, and more delivered. For lunch and everything else.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Charges apply. Check available restaurants in your area and opening times on justeat.co.uk for details.
Hey, fancy scoring £1,000 for your local football club? Well, you're in luck, because The Sun has teamed up with Tesco's Stronger Starts programme to create the Footy for All Fund, offering £150,000 in grants to help out grassroots youth football clubs. 150 clubs will each get £1,000 to be used in any way that helps children continue to enjoy the sport they love. So if your club or club in your area needs a boost, apply for a grant today at thesun.co.uk/footy fund. T's and C's apply.
Uno is now available in McDonald's Happy Meal. So let's see who can shout Uno first.
Bring it on.
Yes. Ooh. No! A wild card. Right. Yes. Back in the game. Yes. Ooh. No! Draw one card.
Uno. Better luck next time.
Have fun with your Uno cards. Does that one count?
Nope.
Oh. Some fun, some food. It's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 7th of May from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy. Uno range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Here we go.
Super hard, super tough, Super League on Talksport 2.
Absolutely magnificent.
Fast-paced, full-contact coverage of the ultimate hard-hitting rugby tournament.
And they're over the line.
Broadcasting live commentary of over 40 games across the season.
Have we got the greatest comeback in Super League history?
Including the Rivals Weekend, the Magic Weekend, and the Super League Grand Final, live from Old Trafford.
They're back into the game.
Scrum down for all the rock and roll action of Super League this season on Talksport 2.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker. Live Premier League on TalkSport 2.
Newcastle chasing European football for a second successive season. Everton hoping to avoid the drop. Troops, and here is Isak into the edge of the area, tries the shot, it's blocked, and then the shot comes in. And it's cleared away by the keeper, Pickford. Surely McNeil is going to whip this into the penalty area. He floats it towards the far post. They're there, and it's a free header, and Tarkowski's put it over the top. That was a huge chance for Everton. Well, here's the ball over the top, and Isak's in on goal here. Cuts onto his right foot. Going to pull the trigger now, and finds the bottom corner. Alexander Isak lights up St James's Park. 15th Premier League goal of the season. It's the 5th successive game in which he's scored here in the Premier League. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Newcastle lead at home in the Premier League. Can they go on and make it back-to-back wins, or will Everton come back and get a much-needed positive result here? Well, Nottingham Forest went into the night. They needed a positive result, and it looks like they're going to get one. There was a third goal at the end of the first half for Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's Forest 3, Fulham 0. It is one-sided. Forest have been brilliant. Morgan Gibbs-White slotting in the third in first half stoppage time. Callum Hudson-Odoi with a stylish early opener after being fed by Gibbs-White, and then Hudson-Odoi missed a one-on-one before Chris Wood thumped home from 25 yards. He's in great form, his 10th goal in 12 games. Anthony Elanga then hit a post when it looked easier to score. Marco Silva furious. He made 3 substitutions just after the half hour. They did look better until Danilo slipped in Gibbs-White to extend the advantage. He really is a sensational footballer. He's pulling the strings. Fulham have been woeful. Forest top class in that opening 45 minutes. Forest 3, Fulham 0.
Brilliant. Cheers, Jeff. Maybe more goals to come in the second half of that one. So still goalless between Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. Burnley leading Wolves courtesy of that Brun Larsen goal by a 1-0. And over on Talksport right now, there's been an early goal. Here's how it sounded on Talksport.
It's on to Werner now, goes on the outside, low ball in towards the near post, and Brennan Johnson arrives again and pops it in front of Fabianski, and 4 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock, and after a big chance for West Ham at one end, Tottenham take advantage at the other, and Brennan Johnson, who made such a difference coming off the bench at the weekend, he's on the score sheet again, and it's West Ham United 0, Tottenham 1.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson with a goal. Commentary over on Talksport with Sam Matterface and Darren Bent for that one. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right. You can choose between the app, the games on the app. Every Premier League game this week is live on the Talksport app and available tomorrow evening on Talksport 2. We've got an absolute belter for you. Third takes on fourth as Manchester City welcome Aston Villa. Expect fireworks when this pair meet.
Manchester City 0, Arsenal 0, the scoreline. Underwhelming, it has to be said, from both these title chasers.
Always his first is his favourite. In the second favourite is Arsenal. In the third we are.
Haaland peels away and scores. Manchester City have been right on it from the very first whistle.
I don't think Man City are what they were last season. We said that before the game.
Your last 5 games are Forest, Wolves, Fulham, West Ham, Brighton. I mean, Man City's run looks pretty good.
It's 4 for Aston Villa, and that was an emphatic finish from Moussa Diaby.
I don't want to speak about the possibility to play in Champions League. Of course, now we are in, and we can feel comfortable.
Man City have got injuries. I think that on Wednesday, Villa, we've got enough. Leeds to get a draw.
Oh, the Premier League, we've missed you.
Well, ahead of the game tomorrow evening, which kicks off at 8:15 here on Talksport 2. Let's hear from both managers then. Shortly you'll hear from the Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola. But first, here's the Villa boss, Unai Emery, who reveals that both Jacob Ramsey and star striker Ollie Watkins will miss tomorrow's big game.
They will not be available for tomorrow. They are with a small injury. And Jacob Ramsey is not getting better like he wants, and we are being not in a hurry with him. And for tomorrow, he's not going to be available. And with Oli, more or less is the same. But I think Oli's injury is a small injury, and we are going to wait because with some days maybe could be available for the next match.
I didn't watch all the games because I think no manager watch all the games our opponents, but I think he's playing the same system idea. They have really good set pieces, the transitions with the 2 incredible fast players up front, and the shape is really clear what they do. They can make high pressing after they defend really well. The back 4, back 5, really structured line, exceptional keeper. That's why he is where they are. So fighting to be there.
It's going to be a tough old night for Villa, though, isn't it? No Ollie Watkins, no Jacob Ramsey, Mickey. But even despite that, it's not going to be an easy night for Manchester City tomorrow.
No, and they caused them problems early on the season, Aston Villa, didn't they? And I think you look at the 2 quality sides who like to get on the front foot. I think City obviously wanting to get back to winning ways. I mean, whether you thought it was a poor game or not against Arsenal last time out, they're still difficult to beat, and they're going to be difficult to beat come the end of the season in picking up that Premier League trophy for the 4th time. But I've been so impressed with Unai Emery and Aston Villa, I really have. But yeah, when their top quality players are not in the starting 11, it's going to be a difficult one for them, no doubt. But it will cause City problems.
Liverpool top by 2 points to Arsenal. 67 Liverpool, 65 Arsenal, 64 City. 9 games left. Who do you think is going to win it?
Well, I have to say, barring the Man City-Arsenal game where everybody thought that Arsenal were boring in that game, I thought tactically they were absolutely fantastic. Over the last 7 or 8 weeks, I've got to say they've looked the best for me. It's so difficult to get over that finishing line and pick up the Premier League trophy. Arsenal have not done it for so long. But I think they're ready for it. It's just whether they can continue winning football matches, because they're going to have to till the end of the season.
Yeah, well, we'll find out how they all get on tomorrow and Thursday. But first, we've had another goal at Turf Moor for Matt Jones.
It's the equaliser for Wolves. Burnley 1, Wolves 1. A free kick floated into the box deep into added time. It's met by Aït-Nouri, and he guides his header into the far post. Burnley 1, Wolves 1.
Cheers, Matt. We are back underway here at St James's Park. No changes yet for either side. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. There's a ball given away there, and Mykolenko has it, and he'll feed it forward. It's a nice touch from Beto, finds Doucouré, gets it out wide on the edge of the penalty area. Chance for the cross to the far post. It's just over Beto. It's headed up in the air, not yet cleared. It's still on the edge of the 6-yard box, and now Newcastle should get the ball away from danger. They have it. Oh, that's beautiful bit of skill between Guimaraes and Longstaff, who knocks it down the line. It's out for a throw-in. I was just going to tell you that tomorrow night you'll find out how Arsenal get on. They're at home to Luton, live and exclusive on Talksport from 7:30. Brighton are at Brentford at 7:30 as well. And on Talksport 2, it's Man City Villa, live and exclusive with Ian Danta and Troy Deeney. Ball bouncing around the edge of the Newcastle box. A little bit of a nervy start to the second half, and now they just knock the ball out. And Sean Dyche encourages his team, and I have to say that touch from Beto at the start of the second half was probably better than anything he did in the first half.
It was. They've started this second half really brightly. It looks like it's a bit of a higher press on them as well, Mark. You can see McNeil and Ashley Young are a little bit more advanced in those wide areas. I just wonder at some point whether they might change positions, but Ashley Young put a lovely ball into the box.
He did, and he was trying to get on the end there of a ball over the top, but he just couldn't quite get there, and Hall will bring it forward. And then there's been an equaliser across on Talksport as well for West Ham. Kurt Zouma has scored. It's West Ham 1, Spurs 1. So the goals starting to go in around our Premier League games tonight. Remember, all 10 fixtures across this midweek are live and only live on the Talksport network. We round off that run of games on Thursday when Liverpool take on Sheffield United and then Chelsea take on Manchester United. Those games live on Talksport and Talksport 2 respectively. Beto's trying to get in behind Shah. Shah's pulled him down here. Wow. No free kick given. I think Shah's had a tug at the shirt. Sean Dyche is furious.
Well, Mark, go back to the first half and we talked about a centre forward in Isak staying on his feet. I just wonder whether Beto could have there also.
Well, here's a ball down the left. It's pulled back to the edge of the area. It's laid back. There's a chance for the shot that loops up in the air off Anderson's effort, and despite the best efforts of Pickford, it goes behind for a corner. Look, whether he could have stayed on his feet or not, Mickey, I think he gets pulled back.
There's a little bit of contact, isn't there? I think there might have been a little tug on his shoulder as well. He's felt the contact. And he's gone to ground straight away, turned around and looked for Tony Harrington to say, look, are you going to blow your whistle? Are we going to get a foul? And I'm looking at Sean Dyche as well. He's still asking the question, isn't he? Why was that nick not given as a foul?
Well, it's a corner here, and this would be salt in the Everton wound if this was to be converted in front of the Gallagher end. It's going to be whipped in towards the 6-yard box. It's flicked and then poked towards goal. Hits the post. That would have been an own goal. And in the end, the ball is cleared away. Well, it was Tarkowski, I think, who got the touch that deflected it onto his own post.
Well, huge sigh of relief for James Tarkowski there as well. No pressure on him to clear his lines there. It was like he was caught on his heels a little bit from the first flick on. What a very fortunate man he is, because it skimmed off the post. And that would have been an absolute nightmare for the Everton captain.
It would have been. It's still 1-0. Here on Talksport 2, Mickey Gray, the Sunderland Hall of Famer. And a ball out for a throw into Everton down below us. Eddie Howe barking out the instructions. We mentioned his changes from the bench are going to be quite limited. I'll give you the teams as the ball is with Everton, but they've turned over possession midway inside their own half. Guimaraes finds Isak now, edge of the area, goes past one. He's on the right corner of the box, but just dwelt on it too long. Gay then slips as he goes to clear it, and then Isak bundles him over. That'll be a free kick. Dubravka is in goal for Newcastle. Kraft, Shah, Byrne Hall are back four. Longstaff, Guimaraes and Anderson across the middle, with Murphy, Isak and Barnes leading the line. 5 in 7 now for Alexander Isak. For Everton, Pickford the goalkeeper, Godfrey Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko, and Arner and Gay at the back, just in front of those back four. Young, Decore, McNeil behind Beto, who is up top. The bench, we mentioned it, there's only one player, and that's Willock, who has started a Premier League game of the 7 outfield players on the bench this season.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And it just goes down to the injuries that they've got this season, Mark, as well. But the importance for Newcastle as well to try and get that second goal, and it will then give Eddie Howe the option to maybe make a couple of changes later on in the game. But as it stands, this 11 who are out there now are pretty much going to have to see this game out.
Yeah, Fulham away, waiting at the weekend for Newcastle. And Fulham not doing too well tonight, are they, at the City Ground, trailing by 3-0 at half-time. Burnley at home for Everton. What a massive game that is for Sean Dyche.
Well, I mean, Burnley obviously found themselves in front in the game tonight and then brought back to level terms this evening. But if they'd have won tonight, they've still got an opportunity to do so. My goodness, what a game that could be at Goodison Park.
Yeah, what a game it promises to be. We'll have it live. All the goals as they go in at the weekend with Adrian Durham on Saturday. Just looking at our offering from the Premier League on Saturday. Palace against Manchester City is live and exclusive at 12:30. Norwich against Ipswich in the Championship. Wow, what a game that is.
So tight as well, the Championship thing. I mean, every league this season has just been incredible from top to bottom.
Well, here Everton just trying to break here, but Beto's touch let him down. Dubravka had to be brave, and he was brave. He might just have got caught there. Referee goes across to check it. Let's go to the City ground because there's been another goal between Forest and Fulham for Jeff Peters.
It's Forest 3, Fulham 1. Marco Silva's men have got a foothold back in the game. An in-swinging corner from the left-hand side, and Tosin with a header 6 yards out. Still a lot of work to do. Forest 3, Fulham 1.
Cheers. Jeff told us that Marco Silva made a triple substitution in the first half there.
Wow.
That's one unhappy manager.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he's not happy.
Ball out on the Newcastle left-hand side. They're down in front of the Gallagher end. They're cutting back in here. They're looking to try and unleash a shot. They'll work the ball back towards the edge of the area. Trying to work it through again and maybe just overplayed it there. There was a chance for a shot a little bit earlier. They didn't take it. And Pickford out to collect it.
Probably with one pass too many, wasn't it? Anderson and Barnes over on that left-hand side both had the chance to put the ball into the box, but tried to be a little bit too cute and give Everton the opportunity to get everybody behind the ball, and so difficult to break two lines of four down.
Well, Mikolenko's just gone down there trying to earn a free kick, and the referee's waved it away. Here now is Gimaresh. Gets the ball away on that far side. It's pulled back to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Everton are trying to play their way out, but it was just too tight. There just wasn't enough room. And now Newcastle are playing in a tight spot, and Everton have nicked it back with McNeil, and McNeil is blocked, and that will be a free kick for Everton.
There's that foul again, Mark. Dan Burn this time. It's like they chop it around, but from player to player. Dan Burn, you can see that his side are in trouble there. Down this right-hand side, Dwight McNeil just trying to play a simple little ball back to Ashley Young on the right-hand side. Dan Burn, it's just a clever foul. And if the referee doesn't keep giving yellow cards, Tony Harrington, they're going to get away with it every single time. You see, side after side in the Premier League, Man City are brilliant at it. Arsenal, very clever at it. They make those fouls around the halfway line, and it just slows everything down.
Yeah, no, again, they're holding a very high line. Pickford lobs the ball in behind them. Branthwaite tried to flick it on. It'll fall here to Everton, but Onana's pass was just a little bit too heavy. I think he was on one wavelength, his teammates were on another. As the ball played forward, it came off an Everton man, and it is out for a throw-in. Still a 0 here. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. You are listening to that game on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action live, contract free, with a Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports for all the details. Here Everton again, they've picked it up with Beto, edge of the area. Can he find a cross? Nobody will earn his side of corner. And he looks up at the fans and says, come on, give us a little bit more. They're right high up. You can barely see them in the night sky here in Newcastle, but they are there and they're cheering on their team. Can they find an equaliser here? They did beat Newcastle at Goodison Park 3-0 earlier in the season. 3 late goals on that occasion. Can McNeil's corner lead to an equaliser here? Fires it in towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Newcastle, and it'll roll all the way out for a throw-in over on the far side. Still 1-0 to the home side.
There's no doubt about it. They look more of a threat in the second half, Everton. You can see Beto trying to wave his Everton supporters just to try and get a bit of noise from the away support in his stadium. Well, they're getting behind them now, and there's a reaction from the players because they've come out, they're on the front foot. Yes, albeit they haven't really created a great opportunity in the second half, but they're asking questions now of this back line of Newcastle, who at times have looked scrappy. I think they've got to get Guimaraes involved in the game a lot more. It was a little bit stop-start for him that first 45 minutes. He gave the ball away on a couple of occasions, didn't really make anything happen. He's the one who makes them tick in that midfield area.
Ball still on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area here. They've not yet cleared the danger. Mikalenko has it 25 yards out, finds Onana. Gets it back to Mikalenko here. He'll get it back to Onana now. Looks to switch play. Tarkowski waits on the edge of the centre circle, puts the diagonal ball in. It's just too deep. Newcastle were worried there. They thought Everton had got numbers in behind them, but the ball just went over everybody. Flurry of goals at Fratton Park in League One, where Joe Ward fired Derby in front. That was quickly cancelled out by Abu Kamara's fine finish, made it 1-1, but just minutes after that equaliser, Ward again put Derby in front. Portsmouth 1, Derby 2. Huge game there, and a big game as well at the top of League 2, and it's not going the way of Wrexham. They're behind at half-time. Doncaster 1, Wrexham 0.
Well, it's just incredible. Wherever you look, whichever league you look in, Mark. I was watching Bolton yesterday, who looked absolutely fantastic. I'm not quite sure who they want to win out of Portsmouth and Derby. Probably the home side, but looks like the away side have got themselves on the front foot. They've got themselves in command at the moment with that second goal, and it's incredible, isn't it? Then you go to League 2. Wrexham need to win. Need to try
second, I think, with a win tonight.
Yeah, well, Stockport have won the last two as well, so everywhere you look, brilliant games.
Yeah, we'll have the run-in of the Championship and the final games of the League 1 and League 2 season right here on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. And that Championship, those top three, someone said to me that Leeds could get 104 points and not get automatic promotion.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That is incredible.
Ipswich and Leicester, I think, can finish on 106.
Well, here's Isak from a quickly taken free kick, puts it across goal, and it's tapped in. And Newcastle have got their second. And it's the captain, Dan Burn, who's tucked it in. What a night for the big man. Everton look around, the inquest begins. Hands on hips, players looking at the floor, but a quickly taken free kick. Isak, the scorer of the first, provider of the second. Burn slots into an empty net. Newcastle have their second. They lead by 2-0.
Well, the most liveliest player on the pitch tonight has been Alexander Isak, and he's involved in this hugely. Down this right-hand side, he just curls his run back into an onside position. It is very tight, I have to say, when the ball's played to him, Mark. Just wonder whether this might be looked at. His shoulder might be offside, but if it is onside, it's so clever from Isak. That little spin in behind, and when he plays that ball across the 6-yard area, Dan Burns just got to slot the ball into the back of the net. I think this might get chalked offside, I have to be honest with you, because he does curl his run, but it looks to me like his shoulder might be in an offside position.
His feet are onside, but his shoulder's offside, and it's going to be really tight. But I'm with you, Mickey. And the problem they've got is there's a line of the grass right where he stood, so there's almost a natural line, and there's just a question: is the player right over on the far side?
Well, the nearest man to him, Mark, I think it's Tarkowski, and I think he's offside from that position. But it's on the far side, and I'm not quite sure whether it's Godfrey or whether it's Beto who's keeping him on. It might be very tight from the far side, but to me, I'm with you. I think he looks in an offside position.
It's such a shame if it does get chalked off. Sean Dyche is in the ear of the fourth official. They are taking a long time, and I think it is going to be chalked off. They will not be happy about this here. The lines say to us it's offside, but the check goes on. Tony Harrington is awaiting the decision in his ear. Everybody looks on, and it is offside. Dan Burns' goal is ruled out.
Well, you talk about a lifeline for Everton, because they've switched off, and they switched off at the wrong moment. We talked about the quality from the free kick to Isak's curling run, and the ball across the box, and Dan Burns simply just slots the ball into the back of the net. What a lifeline for the Toffees. 1 goal down. If it goes to 2, there's no way back for them. Making a couple of changes here as well. Gomez coming on. I'm really surprised how he's not getting himself into that starting 11. It looks like Onana's gone off, and I think Doucouré's come off as well, and Garner seems to be another one coming onto the field. But they need that energy, Mark. It's got to come from somewhere. Someone's got to give them that little bit of a spark. And the play we talked in the build-up to this game, He's going to get a chance as well. Calvert-Lewin coming onto the pitch for Beto. Just not happened for the centre-forward, has it, up front. But this is another chance for Calvert-Lewin. Doesn't matter what's gone before. Come onto the pitch for the last 30 minutes and maybe added on time. He's got to make an impact in this game.
Still 1-0, an hour gone here. Triple change from Sean Dyche. Andre Gomez, Garner and Calvert-Lewin come on for Decore, Anana and Beto. Just want to see what your thoughts were, Mickey. I mentioned the body language of Everton when that goal went in. They looked a beaten team.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hands on hips and players looking at the floor. There was no one leading there, was there?
Well, having been in that situation, Mark, at the bottom of the table, it's kind of... I mean, you go into games sometimes and you're just waiting for somebody to score against you. And I think they've been pretty lively, Everton, in the second half. They've certainly been better. But switch off for a moment in the Premier League and you will get punished. They have been so fortunate. Isak's shoulder was offside.
Yeah, if he'd have been stood up straight, he would have been onside, but fine margins. Here's Mykolenko trying to find the new centre forward on the field. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, his wait for a goal must seem like an eternity for him. Oh, hang on, Dubravka's come out into traffic and he's slightly got away with that. He didn't get all of that header, but just enough of it. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil. Isak's goal on 15 minutes. And Newcastle have it with Shah at the back. Eddie Howe looks on. His side still dreaming of a European spot. They were so unlucky in the Champions League this time. More ball given away. Shah was just ankle tapped and Sean Dyche explodes down below us. He's apoplectic about that decision.
Yeah, he's kicking in, heading every ball and he's making every challenge for these Everton players, and he wants more from his players and he's certainly getting it. Cher's got himself back on his feet here. He's just having a word with Ian Warren, the assistant to Sean Dyche, to say, I felt the contact, you're not playing, mate. Well, it's a physical game, Mark, and look, they've got a challenge for everything. They really have, these Everton players. The changes have got to make a difference in this game.
Newcastle have a free kick. They're attacking the Gallagher end. It's a big crossfield switch that's headed away by Godfrey on the far side. Gade as well to get the ball to Godfrey, and Godfrey's clearance is cleared away. Then Godfrey wins it, but he got caught in the air there. That was a complete accident, but it looked quite awkward. And Godfrey fell flat on his back. Thankfully, he's up on his knees and he should be okay. You are listening to Newcastle against Everton on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. 1-0 Newcastle leading.
Just having a look at that replay of the VAR there. It just came on the screen. I mean, it's millimetres. I don't even think it's inches. Isak's so clever. He knows he's stood in an offside position, comes back onside and tries to make that curling run. He does brilliantly, but a few more millimetres and that would have been a second for Newcastle.
Yeah, and it was only millimetres. And if I'm an Everton fan watching or listening at home, that reaction to that second goal going in would really worry me. They might yet get something out of this game, and if they do, fair play to them. Here's Branthwaite, stayed forward, feeds it wide to McNeil. McNeil puts in a low cross, but it was as good as a pass to the Newcastle defence, and they'll play their way out. And here now is Guimaraes, who comes forward midway inside his own half. The ball over the top is on for Murphy. Murphy against Mykolenko. Pickford comes out and did really well to find Gomez with a pass, and that will bounce off Guimaraes, and McNeil's got a throw in, and Everton have it back with Garner. One of the triple substitution made. 19 gone second half. Live on Talksport 2. As you were in the Premier League. Forest 3, Fulham 1. Ball out wide on the Everton right-hand side, edge of the penalty area. Godfrey working hard, finds Young. Young puts in a good-looking cross. Keeper comes to get it. Calvert-Lewin got up high, but Dubravka just beats him to it. Goalless last I heard, Bournemouth Palace on the Talksport app. Burnley 1, Wolves 1, also on the Talksport app, and over on Talksport it's 1-1 between West Ham and Spurs, live and exclusive on Talksport with Sam Matterface and Darren Bent right now. Going forward, sorry Mickey, Everton have looked a little bit more lively. They're pushing further forward.
Yeah, they have. And what they're doing is they're starting to play to their strengths, which is get the ball into those wide positions, find half a yard, put the ball into the box.
That's a lovely ball. Garner just overran it, hit the back of his heels. So he's going back, curls it low. It's the inside of the post. How's your luck, Everton and Sean Dyche? The keeper is beaten all ends up. It hits the inside of the post and bounces across the goal and away to safety. Still 1-0.
I mean, the game's just opened up like you wouldn't believe now, certainly in those midfield areas. But James Garner, who's came on, looks really lively. Poor first touch, but then he makes up for it. Chops it onto his right foot. Looks like he's going to curl in, hit that far post, but great opportunity. And Newcastle get away with one.
They do indeed. When he hit it, I lost sight of the ball, but you're expecting the net to bulge. The line looked great, but it just hits the inside of the post. And it can only have been a yard in front of goal when it went past the other post.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Look, if you're at the top of the table, Mark, it goes in the inside of the post and finds its way into the back of the net. When you're down, fight for every single point. That's what happens. Ricochets off the post, but they're knocking on the door, Everton.
They are. Pickford again. Sweeper keeper, edge of his own 18-yard box. 21 gone second half. Live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson and Mickey Gray here. We've not had the volume of goals that we've been brought to expect when Newcastle play here in recent weeks, but it has been a lively old game and both sides have had chances. Newcastle had a goal disallowed and now they're attacking down the left-hand side. They're into the byline. Surely they find it. Headed off the line. Isak's shot headed off the line. Great defending from Everton. Now the shot deflected and away. Anywhere but there, and Isak makes it 2-0.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Fantastic from Harvey Barnes to skip away from Tarkowski and pick out Isak. Simple little side foot, and it's Mikalenko, I think, who's on the goal line in the right place at the right time. Comes to his head, just clears his lines, but my goodness, it's end-to-end football now.
It is. Great game. Guimaraes gets it out wide. Here's Kraft now. Whips in a beautiful cross. Fizzes across the area. And he's lashed towards goal. Murphy it was. Oh, in fact, it's Barnes who's rifled it across the face of goal. And listen to that reaction from the home fans. Still 1-0.
I mean, at one moment we're thinking Everton are going to get themselves back on level terms. Then it's Newcastle find a little bit of vigour, get themselves into the 18-yard box in the space of about 10 seconds. It's incredible. And Mikalenko, I've just seen a replay of that, Mark. He's brilliant, isn't it? Knows his side are in trouble, knows his goalkeeper's in trouble, gets himself back onto the goal line in the right place to keep it at 1-0. Everton's chance now, is it, from Pickford? Is he just going to fire this one and Everton got a chance now? It's like basketball.
It is. And we are about to see the one Newcastle outfield player who has started a Premier League game this season coming off the bench, and that's Joe Willock. Ball played forward. Garner wins the header. Guimaraes got the second one, but it's picked up here by Dwight McNeil. Fires the ball to Gomez, does well to retain it. Finds Gale, plays a nice ball over the top. Mikalenko has just kept one out at the other end. Can he create one for Everton at the positive end of the field? Well, he's just earned his side a corner. Eddie Howe waits with the substitute of Willock. He's stripped and ready to go. Isak's making his way back to do some defending for Newcastle United.
Well, a little bit of variation would be nice as well from these corners from Everton. It looks like McNeil's taken every single one of them, but somebody going to make a dart and run towards that near post. There seems to be a lot of space.
Ball floated towards the far post. He's headed back into the 6-yard box. It'll fall here, and it's hit hard by Young. And it got blocked and cleared away. That could have gone, quite frankly, anywhere here. And St James's Park just held its breath for a moment. As Mikalenko has it on halfway. Everton really pushing here, but they trail by a goal to nil. Still Willock waits as Pickford launches it downfield. McNeil and Calvert-Lewin have both got in behind the defender, but Kraft did really well to win the header there. And now the ball through the middle, and there could be a chance here. Can Barnes get it under his control? Oh, the flag's gone up really late there. And the offside flag does go up.
I think he got a little bit of help there, Mark. I have to say, the linesman from Stockley Park, because there was no way he was in line with play there. But again, that pressure from Everton down that left-hand side, this time from a set piece. When it falls to Ashley Young on his weaker left foot at the edge of the 18-yard box. Great strike. But who's in front of it to block it and clear his lines? Alexander Isak. He seems to be everywhere tonight. Superb defensively, but attacking-wise, absolutely top class.
So Joe Willock replaces Elliot Anderson. Anderson maybe not quite having the impact he would have hoped for. A decent showing from the youngster. And Joe Willock is on to replace him for the final 20 minutes here. And it could be a big old 20 minutes because Everton getting dragged in at the bottom with Nottingham Forest seemingly on the way to victory. There was a ball on there for Calvert-Lewin, but they overhit it. But at the other end of the table, a win tonight for Newcastle puts them within 2 points of Manchester United in 6th. Newcastle would lead, as it stands, West Ham draw, Newcastle would jump up into 7th.
Yeah, certainly their season's not over, is it, Mark? I mean, we've been talking about their struggles, Newcastle, and maybe overachieved last season. Picking up Champions League football has been incredible for them, really, hasn't it? Certainly under Eddie Howe over the last season and a half or season and 3 quarters, and they still want European football. It doesn't have to be Champions League football, but if they can get it in some way, I think they class that as success.
Yeah, Everton will want to put a dent in those hopes. Everton earn a throw-in just over the halfway line, far side of the field. I'm just looking down at Newcastle's run-in. They've got Fulham away at the weekend. Then they play Spurs at home. They've still got an away fixture with Manchester United, but then the other fixtures look pretty good. Palace, Sheffield United, Burnley, Brighton and Brentford.
Yeah, all winnable games.
Yeah, here come the visitors to the edge of the area. Mikalenko running forward. He had a bit of time there. He could have probably brought that down, but Newcastle get a free kick just on the midway point between the edge of the box and the edge of the centre circle. Elsewhere in the Premier League, remember, all these games are live across the Talksport network. Forest 3, Fulham 1. Bournemouth 0, Palace 0. Burnley 1, Wolves 1. And over on Talksport right now, West Ham 1, Spurs 1. Here it's Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Isak's goal on 15 minutes. Dan Burn had one disallowed. Garner then hit the inside of the post for Everton. Then Isak had one headed off the line when, if you're going to be honest, a player who's got 15 Premier League goals, you would have expected him to score. Here's Dubravka playing out from the back. Decides to get it forward to halfway. Mikalenko will get it. Few groans from the Gallagate there. Newcastle just turned over possession a little bit too easily. Calvert-Lewin trying to get on the end. Heads it down. Mikalenko into the area. What a tackle that is to keep him out.
That's absolutely brilliant. It's very good play again from Everton. The cross into the box. Calvert-Lewin doing what he does best. He wins his duel. And Fabian Schär's the player that goes to ground. And he's got to time it perfect.
And here's another shot coming in, this time from Young. And Dubravka's there to beat it away. Everton at the moment in the ascendancy. But can they turn it into a goal?
This momentum that Everton have got right now, they've got to make it count. When you're on top, that quality, just keep putting that ball into the box, because Newcastle at the moment are very, very shaky.
They do, but they've got that lead. It might be a slender one, but it's a lead nevertheless. Here comes McNeil. Finds Gomez. McNeil's made a good run. Gomez was clattered after he passed it. The referee lets play go on. Here is McNeil now, puts in a cross 6 yards out, headed away. It'll fall to Garner. Garner can't quite get the shot away, and then Murphy does well to find it. Teammate Willock, and Willock is sprinting forward. Isak peels off to the left. Isak now looks up. He's got support with him in the shape of Barnes. He might go it alone and get it to Guimaraes. Saved by Pickford. And the follow-up can't be taken. They get the ball back, Newcastle, but it's over on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Another counter-attack for Newcastle. Almost came up with a goal there. Still 1-0. What a game of football this is.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But at times you can see Everton, I mean, they're pushing, aren't they? So they've got to take risks to get something from the game, Mark, if they possibly can. But when they do that, they leave themselves so open. Another great move from Newcastle, but it's too easy to get the ball to Isak and then into Guimaraes.
Yeah. Here on the far side is Willock. Willock looks for the give and go, gets it back, puts in an early ball. There was nobody there waiting for Newcastle, but it'll fall edge of the area. Here's Murphy, right-hand corner of the penalty box. Looks now to open up, whips it in again. It's a good ball in, and Godfrey didn't get a shout. All he can do is put it behind for a corner, and he said, why didn't somebody tell me I had a bit of time?
Yeah, I mean, he's having a word with his defenders, isn't he? What else can he do but give a corner away? It's the last thing he wanted to do, but you swipe your left foot at that, everything can go wrong with it. It's good defending in the end, but too easy for Newcastle to put that ball into Everton's box. No pressure on the cross whatsoever.
No. It's a game that deserves a second goal. I wouldn't like to call which way that second goal will go, but Newcastle are going to get first crack at it because they've got a corner now in front of the Gallagate end, which I think will explode if they get a second here. Referee laying the law down in the penalty area. Doesn't want any pushing or shoving as the corner is whipped in towards the middle of goal. Gomez volleys it away. It should come back into the area here. They'll work it out wide on the left, Newcastle, and they do put the cross in. It's headed away well. It'll fall about 30 yards out from goal, and Willett will just have to go back to his captain, Dan Burn, who gets it back on halfway. And now Everton come rushing out. Calvert-Lewin trying to close things down. Ball will work its way back across field. That's a good-looking ball in behind defence, and Godfrey racing towards his own goal has done really well to see that out for a throwing over on the far side.
Yeah, he's done really well, hasn't he, Ben Godfrey, over the last couple of minutes? Been in the right place at the right time, defended well, used his pace, used his knowledge as well. Quite used to playing right back on a regular basis, but when called upon, he's done pretty good.
Yeah, he has indeed. The ball over on the far side in Newcastle left. They get it on the edge of the area. Tackle comes in. Everton looking to try and break from deep within their own half. Guimaraes wins the tackle. We'll get the latest odds with William Hill in a moment. They might be about to change significantly because here on the edge of the box, Newcastle are attacking, but Gay is there, pokes the ball away, and McNeil will be a willing runner, and McNeil will play it. Is Calvert-Lewin onside? Well, it could be a VAR coming here, but Calvert-Lewin goes into the area. Can he find a finish? He went the wrong way. And in the end, it's gone behind for a goal kick. That was a chance you maybe would have liked to see him there. Mickey cut it onto his right foot and go in front of goal.
100%. I mean, Dwight McNeil's played a super ball. I think he could have actually played it earlier, but he is onside, Calvert-Lewin. Centre forward, trying to get to the byline to pull it towards the penalty spot. Not for me. Calvert-Lewin, chop it onto your right foot. If it gets blocked, fine. You're a striker. Get it onto your right foot and try and get your shot away. That's the lacking in confidence from a centre forward.
It's currently Newcastle 1, Everton 0, and for the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Newcastle to win at 2-7, Everton to win at 16-1, the draw at 7-2. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org, and there is a Newcastle player down. I think it's Hall again, isn't it, on that far side? So we are going to get another change here.
Dummett, I think
it's Dummett coming on, is it? He's only made one appearance this season.
Well, it's the second time Lewis Hall's gone down, Mark. You remember in the first half he was hanging on to what looked like his ribs, and he's just sat on the ground there. I don't know, he's not played a lot of game time. Might be tiredness, might be a little bit of fatigue, or maybe he's still carrying that knock from the first 45 minutes, but that change is going to be made. And he's been here for probably longer than anybody else in the Newcastle shirt, Paul Dummett. It seems like he's been here forever, but gets another chance to play in that left-back position. Never really lets anybody down, does he?
No, listen to that. That tells you everything, doesn't it? Again, there was talk during the week about a new contract for him. It's yet to be confirmed as far as I understand it, as Hall makes his way off the field on the far side. Right, we have got round about 12 minutes. There's going to be, I think, quite a bit of added on time here. We have had a couple of injuries, we've had a few substitutions, we've had that VAR check for the goal that Dan Burn had chalked off. It's 1-0. Calvert-Lewin on the ball goes down. That was needless there from Longstaff. Didn't really need to foul him. Back to goal there, Calvert-Lewin, but it's a free kick that Pickford is coming to take inside the Newcastle half.
I mean, he's got the quality to do it, Jordan, hasn't he? No question about that. He's got a super left foot. And you can see they're trying to get as much height as they possibly can alongside this back line in Newcastle, but getting to that point in the game where they've got to start making everything count.
And the free kick delivered towards the far corner of the penalty area. It's headed away by Newcastle. They lead by a 1-0. There are more twists and turns to come in this one. Forest 3, Fulham 1. Goalless Bournemouth Palace. 1-1 Burnley Wolves. 1-1 at half-time on Talksport. West Ham Tottenham. It's still 2-1 Derby. There's the ball into the edge of the area, and Newcastle, bodies everywhere, just managed to get it away. And Doncaster lead Wrexham by a 1-0 in the National League. Halifax 0, York 0. Ball given away by Everton, and forward now goes Murphy. Just pokes the ball towards goal. Here now is Longstaff, and well, Murphy's been taken out off the ball there. Was that Tarkowski that's brought him down?
Yeah, James Tarkowski. I mean, he knows that he's in trouble here, and Jacob Murphy just shows him a clean pair of heels. And Tarkowski just a little flick towards his ankles there. He would have been in if the ball was right to him. And we know James Tarkowski's a very clever defender, but he just didn't have the pace to get back into position. It's a yellow card, proper yellow card.
It is. We welcome along listeners on Talksport. We're into the final 10 minutes at St James's Park. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Alexander Isak's goal on 15. Newcastle thought they had a second just on the hour. Quickly taken free kick. Isak delivered a beautiful cross. Byrne tucked it in from close range, but after a lengthy VAR check, Isak millimetres offside, ruled it out. Then James Garner on as a sub for Everton. He missed an initial chance. The ball came back to him about 18 yards out. He's curled it past Dubravka. It's hit the inside of the post, bounced across goal and out to safety. Moments later, Harvey Barnes, great work into the penalty area, along the byline, pulled it back. Isak unmarked. Open goal away, Matt. He hit the one player on the line, Mikalenko, with a great header to keep it out. Mickey Gray, it's been a great second half here, but neither side can get the second goal in the game.
It has. It's been absolutely fantastic. Certainly sprung to life from an Everton perspective in this second 45 minutes, but they've got to try and get themselves back on level terms, and they're taking risks in trying to do so. They've got to. They need any point they can possibly get at St James's Park. It'll be a huge point, but it'll be a massive 3 points for Newcastle, certainly around the top of the table. What a game we've seen so far.
Yeah, we've just seen Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He came on in a triple change on the hour mark. He had half a chance into the area, Mickey. Looked like he took the safer option rather than risk missing.
He did, yeah. Tried to get to the byline instead of trying to chop the ball up back onto his right foot. And I just think his confidence is not there at the moment, but it's only going to grow.
8 to go here. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Full game live on Talksport 2. What a game it has been. Maybe not the goals we thought, but Isak's goal at the moment has Newcastle putting pressure on the top six. It also has Everton looking very nervously over their shoulders at the bottom end of the Premier League. Here is Emil Kraft, tries to feed it forward, comes off the defender in front of him, McNeil, ball over the top. That's an eye-catching run there. Good challenge goes in. And that's Yusuf Chamiti, who's just come on as a substitute there while we were speaking with our friends over at Talksport, as the ball now works its way to McNeil. Stands up the cross at the far post. Great header away. Really good header defensively away by Newcastle.
Well, it's a great ball in, I have to say, from Dwight McNeil over on this left-hand side. But again, I don't want to be too critical. Another ball comes into the box here. But Calvert-Lewin's waiting for the ball. He's standing behind Dan Burn rather than getting in front of him as a striker. The defender's got to look for the striker. If you're behind him, it's an easy job for the centre-half.
Well, Everton were screaming for a penalty. Newcastle have gone up the other end. They claim there was a hold or a push in the penalty area. It's on the edge of the box for Newcastle here. The ball works its way to Murphy. Murphy gets it into Longstaff, lays it back for Guimaraes, went for the curler and puts it over the top. And I think VAR is having a look at this, Mickey. VAR is having a look at this penalty at the other end.
Yeah, well, it's still in the same phase of play, isn't it? As that ball comes into box, I mean, you can see two players hanging on to each other, and they go to ground. It is Paul Dummett who's just came on the field as well.
On Young.
It's Ashley Young. He's the one who's waving around. He might have a big shout here, Ashley Young.
Well, he had him, almost had him in a headlock, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got goal side of him, Ashley Young. Look, if he doesn't go down, he gets an opportunity on goal as that ball comes into the box. And Paul Dummett just came onto the field, want to obviously do well. He grabs hold of Ashley Young. Now, throughout the whole of the season, we've seen these given quite a lot. And this is a big call for Tony Harrington, the referee.
Well, it's the VAR that's looking at it. Michael Salisbury. What's he going to tell him to do? They're still checking it. We are not seeing it. We've seen one replay on our screen here. We've not seen it since, so we're none the wiser. It did look to me if he gives it, you wouldn't argue against it, would you?
100%, yeah. And I think you could see the reaction from Ashley Young as he went to ground.
I think he's got to check it.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a penalty.
To the screen to check it. Are Everton about to get a lifeline at St James's Park? Ashley Young is adamant it's a penalty. Michael Salisbury has invited Tony Harrington across to the far side to have a look. And generally this will only mean one outcome. The decision wasn't given on the field. Everton were adamant as soon as it happened. Now we'll get a replay of it.
Well, as I said, Mark, he's got goal side of Paul Dummett, hasn't he? It's just whether or not. He looks like he's in an onside position as well. I think Fabian Schär's the one who's keeping everybody onside. There is a run towards that penalty spot from, I'm trying to think who it is. It's Shemiti, actually, but Ashley Young is onside, and Dummett's arms are wrapped around Ashley Young's neck. It's got to be given as a penalty.
And here comes the decision. He's coming onto the field, and it is. Penalty to Everton. It's the Merseysiders high up in the stand to our left that are cheering, and this now is a massive moment in Everton's season. And Sean Dyche, well, for the first time tonight, he's not stood on the edge of his technical area. And we welcome back listeners from Talksport, because Everton have been awarded a penalty by VAR. Paul Dummett on as a substitute for Newcastle, wrestled to the ground. Ashley Young in the penalty area. They appealed instantly. Did Everton. Play went on at the other end. Guimaraes had a shot, but it is going to be a penalty after the referee, Mickey Gray, was called to the screen. It looked a penalty, didn't it, if the truth be told? And Dominic Calvert-Lewin has got a chance. 23 games in all competitions without a goal for him. Can he deliver right when Sean Dyche and Everton need him the most?
Well, I mean, you talk about pressure. Let's go back to the decision. I think it's 100% spot on. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin being given the opportunity from the penalty spot, don't even think about this. Just get your laces through it and get yourself on the score sheet. Massive moment for Everton centre forward.
Short run up. Had a great start to the season, but it's been a long time since he scored. Now would be a great time for Everton. Sean Dyche looks on. Dubravka waits in front of him. Here comes the shot, and he got a hand on it, but it goes in. Dominic Calvert-Lewin finally has a goal for Everton, and Everton have got an equaliser, and there could still be time for them to go on and win it. It's Newcastle 1, Everton 1.
Oh, well, it's massive, isn't it? And you talk, Mark, about when he came onto the field, it doesn't matter how that ball finds its way into the back of the net, whether it was from open play and it came off his backside. Well, he's been given the opportunity from the penalty spot, and I said get your laces through it. Well, he certainly did that, but when you seen Dubravka dive the right way, it looked like he got there and he was going to make the save, but absolutely brilliant for Calvert-Lewin.
There could be a chance at the other end for Newcastle to hit straight back. It's cleared away. I think he's maybe not quite got the right bit of his hand on it. We've got 2 minutes remaining here. It is Newcastle 1, Everton 1, but Dubravka was millimetres away from the save, but it's 1-1.
Oh, what a game. You have to say, from what we've seen in the second half, maybe they deserve to be on level terms, Everton, but they've still got work to do to see this out. Talked about any point you get from now till the end of the season, a massive, and that could be a huge goal for Sean Dyche's Everton.
It could be an invaluable goal. Ashley Young earning his side a penalty. And listen to that noise from high up away to our left. They've not had much to sing about, the Toffees, this year, but they're giving it everything. It still would be 13 without a win if they hang on to the draw, but they've got to hang on to it yet because Newcastle are coming forward again. The cross was a poor one and Pickford collects it under his crossbar, and we've got just 1 minute of the 90 remaining. I think there's going to be extensive added on time here. We've had 2 lengthy VAR checks.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to hang on, aren't they, Mark, Everton, because the pressure's going to be piled on from Newcastle, who want to pick up 3 points if they possibly can. There's going to be more opportunities in this game. You've just got to dig deep.
Here's McNeil into the edge of the area. Is he going to lash one? He does, and it's just a yard over the top. It was worth the effort, but he just couldn't keep it down. Well, Newcastle won it late on at the weekend. Everton lost it late on at the weekend. Here's Seamus Coleman coming on. There's a change, Ben Godfrey going off. I think Ben Godfrey's actually done a good job tonight.
Yes, I do. He's done very well, hasn't he? When he's been called upon, Ben Godfrey, not let anybody down. But you have to bring on that experience and just... I think Sean Dyche is just ticking a little bit of time off. As you said there, Mark, I think there's going to be a lot of time.
Nine added on minutes, Mickey. We are far from done at St James's Park. Are we going to get a winner?
Well, it's just incredible, isn't it? And the way this game's ebbed and flowed in the second half. It's been fantastic to watch. Great atmosphere. Everton get themselves back on level terms. Looked dead and buried when that second goal went in for Newcastle, but they got a bit of good fortune. It was the right call, as was the VAR penalty decision. But listen to that. They've just heard the 9 minutes added on time. They won all 3 points, the home side.
They do. Here goes Kraft down the right, puts in a cross that's blocked and then volleyed away. Everton, you have to say, have been value for that. As strong challenge goes in. Calvert-Lewin just taking out his own manager. Shah bundled Calvert-Lewin over and he took Sean Dyche out.
He's just said to him there, that's what happens when you don't start me from the beginning of the game, Sean. Yeah. What a tackle.
Stayed on his feet though, didn't he? Almost in a press-up position, wasn't he, Sean Dyche there?
Proper defender.
Yeah. Old school. Minute gone of the 9. These are season-defining minutes here. If somebody can grab a goal in these next 8 minutes, then it could send Newcastle into Europe. It could send Everton into the Championship. Ball now coming forward here. Young feeds it out wide for Gomez. Pulled it back. There were 2 waiting in the 6-yard box. It's out for a corner kick to Everton.
Yeah, it's very difficult in that situation, is it, from Gomez there? Do you just fire that across the 6-yard box? Well, he's tried to pull it back towards the penalty spot. 2 Newcastle players there just to clear their lines, but they're hanging on at the moment.
They are. The noise is all from the away fans here. Can they get a second goal, Everton, here, and get a first Premier League win in 13? Ball swung to the far post. Keeper's fallen over there, Dubravka. I think the referee deemed he was fouled, and that will be a free kick, Newcastle. Well, the beauty is here, Mickey, we've got 2 teams that are desperate to win, so they're both going for it.
Yeah, they're definitely not sitting back and resting on their laurels and picking up a point. They both want to win it, which is great for us and great for the listeners, because it's end to end and there's chance after chance, and at the moment the momentum is all with Everton wanting to push to try and get that second goal, and what a turnaround that would be.
Yeah, Forest 3, Fulham 1, still goalless Bournemouth Palace, Burnley 1, Wolves 1. Those 3 games on the app. Over on Talksport right now, back underway at the London Stadium as West Ham 1, Tottenham 1. Newcastle have it over on the far side. Can they fashion out one chance? They'll look at that Dan Burn disallowed goal. Rightly disallowed. It was tight, but it was the right call. But that miss from Isak when the ball was headed off the line by Mykolenko. There might be another chance here. Isak lays it back. Shot blocked. They threw everything at that. Everton, they're putting everything on the line. Well, I mentioned the body language when we thought they'd gone 2-0 down, Mickey. I have to say, since that point on, Everton have poured everything into this performance.
Yeah, you're completely right. And I also look at the impact of substitutes, Mark. Sometimes players can maybe sulk a little bit if they've been left out of the starting 11, but I have to say, James Garner, even Calvert-Lewin, Gomez, those 3 players in particular, I know Seamus Coleman just came onto the field, but they've been absolutely outstanding. You talk about making a difference. All 3 have made an impact in the game.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier on Newcastle's run-in. Everton have got to play the 4 teams below them and the team above them in the table. So their future is very much in their own hands.
It's all in hindsight, Mark, isn't it? But pick up a point today. Pick up 3 points against Burnley at home at the weekend. They're in such a more comfier place.
Here's Longstaff, gets it out wide to Murphy. Murphy cuts in onto his left foot. Is he going to unleash one? No, he's going to play the ball to Guimaraes, who lays it back. Shah's going to have a shot from distance, gets the deflection, and it goes behind for a Newcastle corner. Yeah. We have now played, 4 of the minimum 9 added on minutes. Still 5 to go. 1-1 here, but Newcastle with a corner and a chance to go back in front.
There's still more chances in the game. Probably going to get one right in front of us now from this Newcastle corner, but with the minutes ticking away, the next goal, you would think, if it comes, is going to be the winner.
Murphy's going to deliver it, right-footed. Floats it towards the 6-yard box. Referee's blown his whistle, and you think he's going to make them take it again, is he? Well, Everton players are racing forward here. What's the referee given here?
Well, I saw Branthwaite was on the ground, and Tarkowski and himself are standing around the referee now. I think there was a little bit of a slip there, Mark. I'm not quite sure if there's any contact made with him, which is probably why he's asked him to take this corner again, because it looked like the players weren't set, but they're still at it. Both sets of players.
I think he blew the whistle before the corner was taken. He'd seen something there, Tony Harrington, and now he's got a little bit of pushing and shoving to deal with. There's a lot at stake here for these two teams. We mentioned the value as Shah stands up to Coleman and Gomez. Everton have got to stay squeaky clean here. They cannot afford to infringe from this corner.
We're trying something a little bit different here as well, Mark. You can see Isak's come across. No, Isak's. Willock, I beg your pardon. Maybe to take a short one, just to pull one of those Everton players out of this 18-yard box, but they're still at it in the 18-yard box.
It's like they're playing Tig, isn't it? Ball whipped in near post, flicked on. There's a Newcastle player gone down. Newcastle are streaming. Chamiti tried to break away. Great challenge there from Young. It's out for a throw-in. Newcastle, the appeals were short-lived. 6 of the minimum 9 added on gone. Still 1-1 here.
Eddie Howe complaining there to the fourth official, saying there was an elbow in the 18-yard box as that ball come in. They're just appealing for everything at the moment. If they can get anything, absolutely huge.
It would. Newcastle are just dwelling on it here. They're not really putting it into play. Guimaraes will try and make something happen with the ball over the top, looking for Isak, who thought he'd got in behind. It'll fall edge of the area. Longstaff's pass was a poor one. Chamiti now tries to bring it away. Ball goes out, and McNeil there, knowing the ball's gone out of play, has hoofed it high into the stand, but it's a multi-ball system. It doesn't make any difference.
He wants a bit of a breather, doesn't he, Dwight McNeil? As you said, multi-ball around. He's not going to get too much respite, is he? 2 or 3 seconds, and they're all back defending now. They've just got to do their job, Everton. See this out.
Yeah, it won't be an end to that run without a win. Oh, now Chamiti's caught Shah here, and the referee's going to book him, I think.
Yeah, silly foul really, wasn't it? Chamiti's came onto the field. He's looked quite lively actually himself. But Fabian Schär, as soon as he felt that contact, he's limping away now. He doesn't want to stay down for too long because they want to get on with it.
They do. Free kick from Guimaraes. We will have probably a little bit longer than the 9. So we've still got at least a couple of minutes to go. Newcastle's free kick is partially cleared away. Can Everton break here? They've got McNeil racing forward here. McNeil is played in 30 yards out from goal. Good tackle, really good tackle, Guimaraes. And he goes forward now, rides 1 challenge, rides 2 challenges. He's still going, he's pushed down by McNeil. And that will be another yellow card for Everton. But it might be a good foul for McNeil to give away.
Well, it's a little bit closer to goal as well. They've got on with it quickly here as well, Mark. But it was McNeil who was lost the ball to Guimaraes, who was the one who ran back to win that ball, but just mistimed his challenge. Newcastle trying to get on with it. Whistle's being blown, it's being brought back, but this is in such a better position for Guimaraes to put the ball into the box if he wants to. Cannot keep giving these silly free kicks away, giving Newcastle the opportunity to put that ball back into your box.
It is central. That would be the only worry for Newcastle. Can they generate? They've split right across the width of the 18-yard box. What can Guimaraes deliver here? Floats it in towards, and it's headed away by Branthwaite. Newcastle keep it alive. It's punted in high into the area. There's headers all over, and it's headed through towards Pickford. And Pickford, is he going to launch one last counter-attack? No, he's going to fall to the ground and say that Everton are quite happy now. They've got a point here, and they want to take it back home with them across the Merseyside.
I just wonder, Mark, I just wonder whether the players are thinking to themselves, a point's a great point.
Well, they've got a point. Newcastle fans disappointed they couldn't quite make that half-time advantage count when Alexander Isak scored on 15 minutes. A wonderful goal, his 15th Premier League goal of the season, his 5th successive game at St James's Park in which he scored. There were chances galore in that second half. First, there was the Dan Burn effort that was ruled out by VAR after Alexander Isak's shoulder was a millimetre or so offside. That ruled out a second goal for Newcastle. Then at the other end, James Garner on as a sub killed a beautiful shot past Dubravka, but it cannoned off the inside of the post and away to safety. Then after good work from Harvey Barnes, he played in Isak, 10 yards out. You feel he's got to score. He hit Mikalenko on the line and away to safety. And then with 3 minutes of the 90 remaining, ball played into the Newcastle area. Paul Dummett on as a sub, wrestled to the ground. Ashley Young, referee, initially waved play on. Newcastle went up the other end and had a shot. VAR though had a look at it, and the referee Tony Harrington was called across to the screen by Michael Salisbury, and he overturned his own decision and gave a penalty. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on as a second half substitute. Well, he did the old stutter step. He lashed it hard. Dubravka got a really good hand on it, but deflected it into the roof of the net, and Everton were level. Neither side could really go on and fashion any further chances. So it ends here 1-1. What about Nottingham Forest? They're in the mix down at the bottom. They were taking on Fulham at the City Ground. Jeff Peters is there.
Forest have beaten Fulham by 3-1. A blistering first half display from Forest. Hudson-Odoi with an excellent opener. Then Chris Wood from 25 yards, his 10th goal in 12 games. But the sublime Morgan Gibbs-White, who created the opener for Hudson-Odoi, he had them in complete control at the break with a lovely finish, getting on the end of Danilo's pass. Marco Silva, furious, made a triple change around the half-hour mark. They looked a bit better, then Gibbs-White made it 3. Tosin pulled one back just after the restart, heading in a corner from Pereira. Both sides rattled the woodwork twice during the game, but this is a huge win for Forest in their relegation battle. They moved 3 points clear of the drop zone. They've beaten Fulham by 3-1.
Cheers, Jeff. Huge result for Nottingham Forest. Then I can tell you as well that Bournemouth has scored against Crystal Palace. Bournemouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. It's still level at Turf Moor. Burnley 1, Wolves 1. And over on Talksport right now, West Ham 1, Tottenham 1. All 10 games from this round of Premier League fixtures are live and exclusive across the Talksport network. In League 1, huge game. Leaders Portsmouth are behind at home to second place Derby. Portsmouth 1, Derby 2. And in League 2, Doncaster 1. Promotion chasing Wrexham 0. Around about 9 minutes to go there in the National League. Halifax are behind at home to York. York lead by a 1-0. Mickey Gray honours even at the end here. Sean Dyche, well, his team battled hard for the point. It may yet be a great point for them.
Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think at times throughout the end of the season for Everton, it's not going to be pretty, is it? They've shown certainly since the turn of the year that's going to be the case. Still looking for their first win in the Premier League in 2024. Well, I saw signs in that second 45 minutes that there's battling qualities. They want to try and get themselves over the line, and they certainly deserve that equalising goal. Look, they got a bit of good fortune when Newcastle's second goal was called offside from the little curling run from Alexander Isak and Dan Burn popping the ball into the back of the net. But from that moment, it spurred Everton on for me. They made some great changes. The players who came on made a huge impact as well. And when Calvert-Lewin stepped up, anybody but a Newcastle supporter, I think, around this country were probably hoping that he was going to put that ball into the back of the net. And when Dubravka went the right way, I was fearing the worst, Mark, but I'm so pleased for him. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It came from the penalty spot, and as you said, that point could be absolutely key come the end of the season, and especially when you think Nottingham Forest 3-1 winners tonight, picking up 3 points. The sides at the bottom of the table are not going to let up Burnley pick up another point as well. It's just incredible, isn't it? The Premier League does not let you down.
It does not indeed. Right, it's now time for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
So, Mickey Gray, who are you going for as our player of the match?
Well, I'm going to stick with the man who I saw in the first half, who made the impact and completely changed this football game. Outstanding centre-forward performance. I'm going for Alexander Isak. I thought his performance tonight was absolutely top class. He's my man of the match.
Yeah, 15 goals in the Premier League for him. His 5th successive game in which he scored here at St James's Park. Couldn't quite add the second, but a good night for Alexander Isak, who is our player of the match.